Hello everyone. Yeah, I don't know if anyone will be here at this time, but we'll just crack on with it. Yes, right. So if you've never been here before, this is going to welcome, first of all. And my name's Claire, not Crystal, and I'm just going to do my usual sound check. Oh, it's working because I'd left the thing on. Um, yeah, we'll just see how we go with this. So I am going to be here probably around 2 hours, 2.5 hours, but famous last words. But yeah, I'm just going to see because I'm going to do this and then I'm going to do mediumship Monday, but I don't really foresee. Oh, hello, thanks for the hearts already. I don't foresee mediumship Monday being that long because, as you know, I find Pisces season very overwhelming anyway, like non-stop crying and well, Lord, we're being given a lot of things to cry about. Like, you know, what I mean, I've, yeah, I'm a bit lost for words at how much loss is going on around people connected to this channel. Like, I mean, basically, if it's not that they've literally lost somebody through, you know, older age or um when it, all the other reasons and age, I mean, people, I just don't know if I don't know if we're even allowed to say like DIE. I really just don't know the rules around this. But it's like, like if you saw Friday, unforeseen tragic circumstances, which, yeah, I don't, again, I think it's best to do this. I think it's best I don't talk about that. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm gonna tap into all the emotion of it, which is obviously shock and horrendous grief, and it's so I'm best to send my prayers and so because it's like before that happened, like there's like I'd said, there's already a couple of people that I know somebody's family member is on the edge of life and they're hanging on. They're a warrior, they're hanging on, but I'm like my the way my emails were set up, I hadn't like I was like, well, that's funny, I thought we'd have heard from either a couple of them, but obviously I didn't want to crowd the person that it was that recent loss. And then, but I kind of thought, and then when I switched out in my everyday one, sure enough, I've got. So, you know what I mean? I don't know a lot about, and I'm not going to go into it's other people's business unless people say that I'm allowed to say, but there's not. Um, it's just intense. It's really, really intense. And I think, and this is for Scorpio, and Scorpio is the deepest of signs, in my opinion. And it's the eighth house, and it's pain, and it's the things that people don't talk about, or the majority don't want to talk about, like death. Again, there's another word I don't know if we're allowed to say, but I think we are because there's a death card that I don't know. So we're going to get on with it, and if I'm sitting doing this myself, that's fine. If people are here, I'll chat to you. I don't know what's better really, but I do it myself or people chat. So I'm here having some bouillon because I have just finished. Oh yeah, so I didn't give my usual chat. This isn't for you. This isn't. Do you like my? It's given baby from Dirty Dancing, isn't it? It's because my it's because my hair's not really. I don't think it's quite long enough to be doing this. I don't know if I like that or not, but we've done it now. Um, but yeah, this is for Scorpio and eighth house placements. So we've all got Scorpio, we've all got an eighth house, and if you've got Scorpio in the eighth house, that's pretty spicy. So this is when it comes to twin flames. This is like the sacred union, the sexual union. Uh, I didn't especially look out the cards that are to do with that. To be honest, there's some sitting beside me. I've not been in here. I needed to get out. I've not been in here all weekend. Oh no, that's a lie. It feels like it. I had a. It's when did I come in here? I did have to actually. Friday, I just went through my bed and watched the Hangover trilogy, which was exactly what I needed, just in the dark. In shock, really. Um, and then Saturday, I think I might have had to do a bit the same. I really can't remember. But yesterday, I did come through here. I came through and sat and because it was very bright in here, so I just came and chilled in it. I've watched lots of interesting films actually over the weekend. The one I watched last night was just fucking frustrating. I'm sure it's going to come into this. It was a really weird ending, but it was 100%, 100%. I would bet money on it. It's going to come into this because I'll just tell you the premise of the whole film now. Actually, was it was really weird. It was called The Romantics. I don't know if I'd recommend watching it. I mean, it's a rom com, but it's not a comedy. It's like it's a head fuck. That's what it is. So I might be about to pick up on a like a that term I love, not like third party situation, because in that film it's like um it's Josh Duhamel. So that's why I was like, this is a pile of shite, but I'm going to keep watching this, if you know what I mean. That's the one that used to be married to Fergie. But yeah, it was like it's meant to be that like he's had a romance with Katie Holmes. I can't remember what their names were. Oh no, I can actually. I think her main name was Laura, in case that's significant. In fact, two of the films I watched over the weekend, the main character was Laura, so that could be significant. Um, but or not, but that just popped into my head. But yeah, the gist of it was like so they've been together when they were younger, and I think it's meant to be that the Katie Holmes characters like needed to go away or something for I don't know work or study or something, and they basically are pals like stole our man. Like so, I don't think they've properly broken up, and then are like one of her one of these ones best friend has like started going out with him. But it was very apparent when I was watching it. I was like, wow, this girl's a bit weird. And then it shows you in the film that she is like proper weird. Um and like so the whole film started. I'm not gonna go well, I don't think come on, please don't make me go into the whole story the whole film. But the gist of it was the film starts and it's Katie Holmes like practicing her speech to read at their engagement party, right? They're like, what is like this is a bit weird. What is this? And that's why I was like, I was about ready to turn it off. And then because I thought it was really about friendship, because it is about a, a friendship group of like women and men, but it's all a bit fucked up, really. There's a lot of cheating in it, which I'm not a fan of, but there's a lot of cheating in it. Now You're Gone base hunters just come on. I don't even just mean the main characters. I mean like even the ones, some of the ones that were married and like because he goes missing at one point because oh wait, I'm telling the story all back to front. Now you're gone, and then love for you strong, and I miss you here now. You've got Nikki just flashed up on the thing on the text. It's um, mm, that's good by the way. If you've never heard that, it's really good. Apparently, it is just like it's not just a thing after you're fasting. Like it's like because it's like a stock for soups and shit like that, but or whatever else, but you can drink it as a drink. I accidentally, half asleep, Mercury retrograde, but it's just me, read the tin. I will get back to the story. And I had 4 level tablespoons. I was like, 4? I was like, shit, that's a bit much, but I thought it's a big mug. And then I read it again. That was if you were making it with food, like it's only one. And so I thought there's a big waste, but so I've got it through here because I'll have another one when we get to like well, I don't know when I started in about half an hour or something. Um, and then I'll have some real food, but this is quite nice. Um, yeah, so yeah, basically that when it gets more into the film, it's apparent that she has hooked up with him the night before, and then he's failed to tell her that. he's just proposed to the one he's with. So it's kind of like they don't really sort of say it. They don't say if they just like hooked up, hooked up. They just kind of insinuate it. It's like because her friends are like, "Did you see him last night?" I think his name's Tom, so Tom could be significant too. And yeah, Tom. And she's like, "No," and she's like, "But do you see him regularly?" And she's like, "Yeah." She's like, "But did you see him last night?" And she's like, "Yeah." And then it's like one of the kind of wild friends is like, "Oh my god." And then he's like, "Did he mention that he was going to do this?" And she was like, "No, but it's fine." And so obviously it's not fine because they two are meant to be in love. So the whole gist of the film is basically he's getting married to this other girl because the love that he has, you see where I'm going with it, the love that he has for the one from his past is like too deep. Like he basically can't handle it. But my God, if this is anything like real life, the one in the film is like the one that he's with is a fucking like screw loose. Like because it's like she's meant to be like a total control freak, and she knows that he's in love with her. So this is I can. So I think we get the gist of this, right? It's really annoying because I want to find that deck of cards I've got that has got things like snake in the grass and all things like this. It's really, really annoying me. But I just haven't got the energy to make about for that. I mean, I could look for it for when I come back on Wednesday and do the Sagittarius one. But there'll be other cards that'll sort of pick up on this. But it's like that's the kind of feeling is that like, that it's no secret. Like she knows that he really wants the other one who is her best friend. And it's like another fucked up thing is the girl that he's marrying has like asked her to be our maid of honor. So it's kind of one of these things that like keep your that thing I hate and don't agree with. Keep your enemies close and keep your friends close and your enemies closer. It's like it's really just about winning. So that girl he's with doesn't even really want him. She just wanted to win. And then it turns out when it gets toward the end of the film, she's like been in major competition with this one. And because the other one lists off all these things, like she's like, and it's weird that the girl that he's with that is not a likable character. She's like, she's like accusing the other one of all this stuff. Like you're just jealous because she's like, but he's in. Oh, because yeah, I'll spoil alert one bit. She's like, he's cheating. I'm telling you that I slept with him last night, the night before you get married, and the night before you get, and you're still gonna marry him. And he's like, well, she's like, well, he's already had a wobble to me. Like, what I mean? Why are you telling me this? You're just jealous. You're just envious. Why are you? It's like, what the fuck? This shit happens in real life. And she's like, but he's in love with me, and I'm in love with him, and you saw me try to get over him, and I can't. Um, and the girl's like, she starts projecting, and she's like, "You're just envious. You've always been jealous of me." Blah, blah, blah. But it's clear, like we've already seen that's not the case because there's a scene where that girl that he's going to be marrying is like looking at a photo of them, like taking some kind of pill, popping a little bottle of vodka, and like I don't know what else. What is she doing? It's like really neurotic, kind of next level jealousy, like knowing I know who you really want to be with, but you will be with me. So basically, like I really felt like again somebody could have had like an off the wall, insanely controlling karmic partner. Remember, this is past, present, future, and in Scorpio, it always gets really deep and intense. So don't make it yours if it's not yours, right? I don't think anyone wants this one. But they always leave me to watch things for a reason. But really, what stood out to me the most in that film was it was like, the couple that are really in love, it was really hot. Because, like, there's a bit where it's not a great film. It's kind of shit. I mean, watch it if you want, but it's like, I don't know, it was just weird. I didn't like the ending. But it's basically getting across the gist of like what I think a lot of men do. Like he purposely doesn't choose the one he really wants because he's terrified of how in love he is with her. And then he tells a story about like some kind of he goes on about like, oh, when I was younger and I fell into the pool and I couldn't breathe and my heart was racing and the point was I'm afraid of water. And then it's meant to be like a guy that can't express his feelings, and then he's like, you're the ocean to me. Like, so what I mean? It's quite romantic, really. And then she's just kind of, oh, for fuck's sake, you know what I mean? And And then anyway though, and then they part ways and she goes away. There's a whole lot of other shit to the film. But then this is about kind of hot, but like totally immoral. So I mean, but again, you know, when you know the backstory, it's like that friend has bullied him into a relationship and because she even said she's like, you can't bully me anymore. Like I love him and he loves me. And that if he's going to do this, then fine. But and she's like, you know, anyway, that girl's just a bit weird. You need to see the film. It's just very weird. Um, and but again, I say you need to see the film, but I mean, there's lots of other. I'm basically telling you what happens. And I'm just trying to think. Well, oh yeah, yeah. So anyway, they're talking and having this big, you know, he's like, you know, she's better for me because is it because she's the same or because she's better for me because she's different? Like different meaning like I'm feeling I'm you know like I don't know different as in we're not in love like I can handle that more. And so the other one's like, what, like, do you know what I mean? And then he even says all this stuff like, you inspire me. She doesn't know this kind of stuff. She's like, you inspire me, that's why we keep hooking up all the time. And so but anyway, they part ways, and then it's like you see them both kind of like thinking about each other, and then it's like she obviously slinks out to the outside his window because I think the house that he's maybe staying in before they get before he marries the one he doesn't love is like over the other side of this lake. So like, and then of course they end up like getting it on behind a tree, and I'm like, oh, this is probably why. But it's because it's quite like it's like kind of, do you know what I mean? It's like kind of Scorpio, kind of desire, kind of. I'm trying to think of another film. Is it like maybe like yeah, maybe like a modern day Pride and Prejudice or like the after films or like 50 Shades of Grey. But it's just getting like their chemistry was good. I'll give them that. Like it was good acting because you could tell that those two got to rip each other's clothes off, but they're in a situation where he has been stuck with the other one for like 10 years, doesn't really want to be because he's scared of real love. And like and then even the mum as well is saying the one that we'll call the karmic one is like, honey, he needs to love you more than, and you know that she wants to say more than your best pal, but she's like, well, more than you love him. And she was just kind of like, what are you talking about? And she's just very neurotic. And this girl was like, I don't want to hear it. Because there's another scene when her sister's trying to say, like, does he make you feel like the most special person in the room? Like, does he make you feel like he wants to be with you, anyone? And she's like, no. Um, so it's getting across that girl's really just wanting him because it's a game. Like she doesn't really want him. She wants him to win against the other one. So you can change this a bit. I mean, I fucking hope it's not things to do with like best friends and stuff. But trust me, I bet it will be for some people, or it'll be something like friends will have gotten the way somewhere or frenemies. But this could equally be someone you don't know that just wants it's a game and just wants to win and blah 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 and all that kind of stuff. But uh, yeah, but the thing I found really fucking bad about it was like they passionately get on right outside, and then he like fucks off, and she wakes up in the grass like in her fucking silky nightie, and he's still carrying on with the wedding. And I thought, fuck me, this is like a bit toxic. Like, do you know what I mean? That bit was mad, but I was like, this is like, it's just that's what I mean about it. That's a bit too fucked up. Do you know what I mean? Like, and the way it ends, the way I'll tell you the way it ends because I doubt very much any of you are going to watch this. You could if you want, but I'm never going to watch it. It was a load of shit. It really was. I was well. I'm undecided. It was a head fuck. Anyway, but the way it ends is they're saying their vows and he can't really get his words out because he doesn't want to be married in this one. And also, it's very obvious that she is bullying him too. Like, because it's like, so it's like getting across like an abusive partner. Because she was like, he goes to her and says, I don't want this. Do you know what I mean? Like, why do you want to marry me and stuff? She's like, because you need me. You need me to function. And blah, blah, blah. So it's kind of like speaking down to somebody so they feel like, well, nobody else is going to have you. Do you know what I mean? So again, there's plenty of karmic partners who are going to be like that. So, and then it's like, that's what I mean. That's why it's like he ends up going through it. But the thing that's really funny is the mum's like, oh, I've got a really bad feeling. I feel like it's going to rain tomorrow. Like she wakes up and says that to her husband. And then, right enough, the way the film ends, which I'm like, what the fuck, man? I almost want to Google it to be like, did they get together? So this is, maybe that's really clever, actually. That is really clever for the purposes of this, is that maybe we don't get to know how this ends. Although we will, because I always like see, I always like, what's going to happen next? Because it ends when he's saying his vows, and then there's a storm cloud comes over, and then it starts pushing with rain and like thunder and lightning. So they all, oh my god, I just saw the biggest synchronicity. Just, oh my god, talk about karmic shit. That was crazy. Like a name just flashed up on the screen when I was talking. Um, like, uh, yeah, they have to run inside, and so they don't get married. And then the two that are left standing are the two that are in love, and they just look at each other and start laughing because it's obvious that's a Roman. Like, do you mean because it was all beautiful outdoor wedding and everything, and oh, it looks all brilliant on the surface, but it's like really, it's like the best maid's fucking shagging the groom, and the bride's just like knows about it, but she's ignoring it, and it's all fine. Just let's just carry up. You know what I mean? What the hell? And then God's like, no, this can't happen. This isn't a divine union. So again, if we get any, I'm going to say it now. If we get any cards that are in reverse, if we get any engagement or wedding cards in reverse, it's going to be picking up on that shit. It's giving Venus retrograding. Aries, my sign, which is like I said, I think, I looked before, but look yourself, but I'm sure it starts around the 21st of April. Sorry, it's getting a bit salty after your second one, do you know what I mean? But it's food. When you've not eaten for 7 days, I tell you, heaven, I'm in heaven. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's good. That's it. Can I just say, because I don't want that to take up the whole thing, because I don't know if I will make a video about it. I made a wee shorts before I ate, but that's if you're new, that's the third time I've done a week fast. That's right, 7 whole days of not eating, and that was the hardest one I've ever done. The other two, I didn't find it that hard, and I wasn't that hungry, believe it or not. Like seriously, they're like there might have been a few moments where I was like, oh, I could eat, but you know what I mean? Like that was what it was like. And both times I lost nearly a stone. And apparently this time I've lost a stone, but I'm not really good at maths. I was like, because I was carrying a wee bit extra anyway, so I kind of thought I hadn't lost as much, but I think I've actually lost like exactly a stone. But I'm not going to get attached to that because, and I can judge because I've got my Back to the Future PJ bottoms on, right? Um, and whenever I put them on, that always sort of indicates to me that the future is a big issue here. Like I always feel it's like a timeline shift. Like I don't know. I feel like something's like the future's even closer than you think. Something something like that. But yeah, I can tell because they're normally like stuck to me, like painted on, and they're a bit baggy. So I'm like, yes. But yeah, I'll not get attached to this because it always sort of piles back on with the water weight and that. But anyway, that's not the point. I don't eat fast to lose to release the weight. It's a fucking bonus. But I do it to get the clarity and yes, just the feelings of peace and everything, and just to reset my everything. And because the doctors tell you fasting, doctors don't recommend fasting at all, but that's because they wouldn't make any money if they did. So that's the truth of it if you look into that. And um, and also I pray and I fast to break off the negative attachments and the demons from any of you guys that want to receive the healing. So if I don't tell people when I'm actually doing it, although it might have been a little bit obvious this time because I kind of said, "Oh, let me know if you want me to, when I do it." Like again, that's what I mean about coyote medicine. It was a little white lie, a little bit of a kind of twist on the truth because I don't like to say when I'm actually doing it because then the people that are not very nice send me negative energy. And on top of me being fucking starving, I could do without that. So, but nah, it was harder. Like over there, I think it's because it was the moon in my 12th house. Oh my god, it was quite rough. Like, I think it was it Saturday and yesterday. I think Saturday and yesterday, maybe even that I was really hungry, and I was like, oh shit. I was like, no, I'm gonna push through. because I get loads of downloads as well, and it's like it felt like it was quite symbolic of people like trying to break addictions of any kind, because you know that's the 8th house as well. So I don't know, but yeah, it's important for people to know that. That's why it's like I'm either going to have loads of energy or I'm going to be like, right, you know, I'm going to wrap this up a bit quicker. But anyway, let's see. So, what have we got? A wee scripture. The name of the Lord is a fortified tower. The righteous run to it and are safe. 1810, so the 18th of October could be significant. I don't know why I want to keep coughing. That's what makes me think it is the dog hairs. You know what I mean? I did have that flu, but it's like something's catching back in my throat. I think it is a dog hair. I have to get rapid hoovering. I've got her tomorrow, so it's like I may as well just hoover her when she goes. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast because they trust in you. Isaiah 26:3. So, oh, that's soon. Oh, that's one of my friend's birthdays. So, 26th of March. Um, let's see. So, let's see if any of that absolute drama comes out in these cards. I think we need this date. But yeah, it was the stuff with the girl that he was marrying that was really disturbing in that film. Like, imagine being that like obsessed with somebody that you don't that you just need to win. I just don't understand that. Right. Five brothers love has just come on Cheryl Cole. So what went on in the past from the feminine's perspective? This is one of these decks that's a little bit sad. Oh, wait a minute, I've not. Oh, shit. What is the. Where's the sound? Is that because of. Uh oh. No, the sound is on, isn't it? There's me looking. Yeah, there is. I'm just looking very pensive, I think is the word. Now I'm just singing that in my head. We gotta fight with love. Oh my god, it's a bit chilly in here. The heater's on, the window's open. I don't know what point there's in that, but it was because I was burning the sage. Also, I suppose another thing that could come. I mean, we didn't get to see why, but it's like it's kind of given like dismissive avoidant, like it's like the intensity is too much, so it's like I can handle this amount of intensity. It's a well, basically that's more extreme, because if he's choosing somebody that's quite like very controlling, then this could be somebody that could have had like a controlling parent or something, so they're not used to like genuine love. Maybe doesn't know what it is, like, because that's what, yeah, I mean, you don't know because you don't see the backs. I mean, you see the weird one's mum in the film, but she doesn't really seem that weird. So they could have made that a little bit more obvious that she was like toxic in some way. I don't think they did a good job of that, because she didn't seem like there was anything. But yeah, it's quite creepy, the control issues. Right. Okay. From the feminine's perspective, let's pull my eyes down to that box down there again. That's the messy truth. And those cards are sitting there. So, well, it certainly is if it's anything like that film. Right, 2 cards have come out. If love had a weight, would you still carry it? That's one of those ones I'm like, what does that even mean? I'm assuming that means, I suppose it does fit. I'm assuming that means if love came with problems, would you still want it? So yeah, it does fit actually with the film. Running from your problems won't solve them. Oh, look, it's like the man in the film running away from the one he's really in love with. He's like, I'm away. This is too intense. Right. The masculine's point of view. Some things aren't about you not being good enough. They're just not right for you. Oh my god, it's exactly I kind of love it when that happens. It's exactly like the film because it's got a girl with a pair of shoes and she's tried on loads of shoes. But I'm taking that to mean like in the past, the masculine was like, yeah, I want this, but it's just not right. It's not going to work. So the masculine in the past was like, I really want the divine feminine, but it's just not going to work. Now we don't know why yet. It might be like in the film that it's intense. How did we go from everything to nothing? Yeah, I knew it was going to. Oh, actually, shit! The other film I watched last night was brilliant. So I would advise that one. I might save that one for when I talk about Sagittarius. But just quickly, that was about. Actually, because if anyone's looking for something to watch on Prime and they watch it before I do the one, I don't imagine you will like because it's like I said, if you haven't noticed, that is like my that's my obsession is to when I'm not doing this, I escape into watching a film I've watched a million times or one I like it when I find one I haven't seen. Preferably not one as shit as that one I'm talking about. But yeah, the other one I watched was called Press Play. And I think it's just been added on Prime. And oh my god, that was brilliant. But I don't know, if you've heard something quite sad happen recently, like some of the stuff I spoke about at the start of this live, don't watch it. Don't watch it. Because that's what I find a bit close to the bone. Like somebody does go in quite a sudden way, and I was like, that was too much actually. But what I did like about it was it's about timelines. Oh wow, shit! I never realised that when I've just said about the Back to the Future thing. Yeah, it was like a mix of. It was like a mix of. Sorry, I'm really like in a sleepy mood. What I cannot even remember what that is called, and it's the Lake House. Yes, it's like a mixture of the Lake House, so it's quite kind of like. Do you call that sci-fi or do you call it like I don't know what you call that, but like kind of because in the Lake House, there in order for him not to go that way, they have to stay apart for 2 years for them to meet up on the same timeline, so that he doesn't, so that an accident doesn't happen. And it's very similar actually to that film yesterday. So it's like true love. It's like how long would you wait to catch up to the same timeline as the person you want to be with? Um, rather than like when I'm like, people are like, oh fuck this, I'm away to Soulmate Island. Sorry, don't mind me. I'm just gonna make my wee soup thing because it's like it takes a while to cool down. But I don't know if I'll talk about it again, so I'll just quickly say it was like the poignant message in it was the more you try to meddle with fate to stop the bad things happening, it might just still keep happening. And the thing is, like, that's where it's like, if anyone's in a sensitive place, click off. Because I remember reading, I think I think it was the Long Island Medium's book actually, like, I don't know, 15, I don't know if it'd be as long as 15 years ago, but it was, somewhere like definitely 10 years ago. And it was a bit in it that was like, the wee boy's soul. Oh, hello, Connor. How you doing? Thank you very much. That was very generous. Thank you very much. Oh, the bees. I was going to say you're being very psychic again if you didn't. if you didn't see my post. Yes. Well, it's not much to tell really, but I'll tell you about that in a minute. How are you doing? Yeah. Like basically, yeah, in that book, it was basically like this is a true story. This is a little boy that died in a we are allowed to say that, aren't we? In a boating accident, and and he just said like there's nothing, and I think unfortunately in that book, like well again it was a true story. I think it was maybe the dad's like had done something and blaming himself, and then all that kind of it was very tragic, and the wee boy's soul was coming through saying there's nothing you could have done. If I hadn't went that way, I was going to die this age. I'll have to say that. We are allowed to say die, I think. I need to check this shit. I just think it's the other way of that we're not allowed to talk about, um, which is just beyond stupid. Yeah, I was like that was my time to go. Like, which is really quite hard to get your head around, but you have to kind of read it to get what I mean. It always stayed with me. It was just kind of like there's nothing you could have done. I was going to go at that age anyway. And like I said, it helped me with a few things in my life, like not just as a medium, just as a person as well. But it's still fucking unfair because obviously when I was distraught on Friday, I mean, you heard what I said. I mean, it wasn't me saying I don't believe in God, just for that record. It's just I do think in those moments, I understand why some people be like, "Is there even a God? Like, why the fuck are you letting this stuff happen?" Um, but yeah, anyway, but that film was really really good. It was really touching. And anyway, the girl keeps trying to change it so that this guy doesn't die, and every time she changes it, he keeps dying a different way. It's like Butterfly Effect as well. It was like a mix of the Lake House and Butterfly Effect. Butterfly Effect's really dark, so just be aware of that if you've never seen it. But I love that too. Basically, it's exactly like that because the more he keeps trying to change it, he's messing it up. He keeps trying to be with the girl, and every time he keeps going to the timeline, things keep changing in a way that's even worse. Like, and then he just leaves it, and then they walk past each other in the street at the end of the film, and you're meant to be like, did they get together? Did they not? Oh, so that's interesting with that annoying film last night. I mean, me mentioning that, and then actually, even the one I'm saying is really good, the one I'm talking about, that ends like that too. But I won't tell you that because that completely spoils it. And that is a good film if people want to watch that. But there's a thing about soulmates and that. And that had me in absolute bits. I was sobbing my freaking. I was actually sobbing at the ship film last night too, but I was sobbing at that one big time because it is about fate and it's about you can't outrun fate. But if you just surrender and let it go and stop trying to control everything, you might just get what you want. And I done a wee shorts, but I don't know if I'll bother releasing it. It was just when I was in the moment. I done, but um, but obviously when we're talking about things like people go in, you can't unfortunately bring somebody back. But well, that's just it. You can't. Okay, you can see I'm in the deep feels. Right, so let's get a joint card. And so tell us about these. Well, basically the thing about the bee is when I was in the kitchen earlier, I was like, how did you get in here? And I was like talking to it while I was like, hanging about, and I was like, how did you get in here? I was like, the only way you're going to be able to get out is through the bathroom window because basically I keep my kitchen window shut because my best, but actually that's quite funny. My friend that's got that birthday stood up on the thing. Remember, I'm 4 flights up to open it once when I moved in years ago, and I was like, and then when she was back another time, I was like, I think I asked her to shut it again. I've never opened it since because it's just if you leave it open in the winter, it's fucking Baltic. If you leave it, but you do need it open in the summer. But I don't. I've just learned to deal with it. So that I was like, how did that even get in here? So it must have been through the the skylight in the bathroom. But that makes it sound really cautious. No? But anyway, then I found it lifeless on the bathroom floor, and I found it quite upsetting, to be honest. I was like, I've had enough of this weekend. But remember, sadly, Scorpio, it was Scorpio moon, the last degrees of Scorpio moon, and that is death. like, and it can be literal. I mean, it isn't usually, but you know what I mean. It's stuff like that, and I was like, oh, it's already dead. And then I got someone to kind of, and I was like, oh, it's still alive. So I saved it and I let it out the window. And if I go back after this and it's still on the window ledge, I'm afraid it has went to be heaven. And I saved a spider the other day, except when I tried to chuck the tiny spider out the window, I'm pretty sure it came back on me. And I was like, oh no. I don't really mind spiders, but it was kind of, I was about to get in the bath and I was like, here, they're in, we can't both be in here. You're going to need to leave. You know what I mean? And then because I've not got the window in the bathroom, that was it. It's not that exciting, Connor. Right, what is the joint message? Oh, what does that mean? Well, it's got a mask cracking off somebody's face. So that does make, that doesn't sound right, but it does, that really, I mean, I don't know, I don't know. That could mean all sorts of things. There are no real secrets in this world. So again, see how much it fits with that film. It was a secret to nobody. Like all the friendship group, and even the girl he's marrying knows he's in love with the maid of honor. Like, so change maid of honor bit because I really doubt that's going to be for a lot of people. But like I said, you'd be surprised. There's fucked up shit. This goes on all the time. Yeah, like it's not a secret. Lady, hear me tonight. The truth isn't always black and white. Oh yeah, it's like that film. Truth isn't always black and white. So there's some sort of mystery. There's a mystery. There's a Scorpio mystery, and Scorpio is the psychic detective. So let's dig in. Right. So I don't know whether I want to have that. Did I mix that right? No, that's still boiling. Fuck that. This. I've got the last. You can only have 3 of these, or it's not good for you. My electrolytes. That's what kept me going all week. Did you see that, Connor? That I done another. Well, you'd have if you read that. That I done another week fast. Easy peasy. Only joking. If you've been here from the start, you'll see that I said I was fucking starving at some bits. Right. So, um, right. So we saw what's happened in the past. Where is the divine feminine staying stuck in the south node, if you are at all? That's kind of the past as well, but I didn't ask it like that. Oh, oh my god, guys. Oh my god. Remember when I said if we get any cards that are wedding or engagement in reverse? It's like, I knew it was gonna, I knew because it was the very last film I watched. Right, so we've got wedding in reverse, so we don't even need to read the next bit. That's keeping the feminine. And remember, only if this is resonating with you, which I sincerely fucking pray and hope this is resonating with no one. But something was keeping you stuck in the past because I think it's going to be something like that, that like your person must have either been engaged, because remember, it doesn't go through in that film, engaged and it got broken off, or they actually married the karmic person who's quite controlling. So you've been stuck in the past, not able to move on. Because that's what the girl says in the film, like, I can't move on. Like, he's in love with me, I'm in love with him. And the other girl's like, it's fine. It's fine. Where's my bouquet? Okay, step away from the crazy. Was just laughing at the repost because I didn't know what it was supposed to represent, and it fits perfectly with a funny story involving a bee blanket. A bee blanket, love it. It's a bit like when I used to shop my online Asda shop. I used to get excited every time I seen a blanket with the animals that my nieces love. I'm fucking stuck with like a unicorn blanket over there. I've got a fucking panda blanket in my room. I've never even taken the bow off. I've got, do you know what I mean? It's like, but they do love them, to be fair, and they were never really a lot. But just as well, I don't shop there anymore because it's like stuck with these cheap blankets. You know what I mean? Congrats, what you like. Yeah, no, I was guided. No, I was really, really guided to do it. And like I said, I wanted to do another one before my birthday. So I don't know if I doubt that's it. I think that will be the one before my birthday. I'm just going to try and maintain um keeping the weight off now, or the majority of it. Take me to the clouds above. It's just come on. There's a boy I know. He's the one I dream of. Oh my god, that fits with the card I just pulled. Fits with the card I just pulled. There's stuck in the past. Oh fuck. You keep saying you're carrying more weight, but anytime I've seen you recently, I thought that was like Connor. Thanks. Thanks for the compliment, but you only ever, all of you, unless you're in my personal life, you only see me from not even the waist up. You see me from the bust up. Do you know what I mean? So trust me, I was before I done my other fast, I was overweight for my height. I think it's your height. It's not to do with age. It's your height. Um, and just uncomfortable. Do you know what I mean? Because I knew what that was related to trauma wise as well. And then just before I done that, when I started it a week ago, I was there again. Like I'd went back to the weight I was and a wee bit more. So if I could just stay, the thing is, so that's what's not really making sense to me when I stood on the scales, because I didn't go back to the excited weight I went back to at Christmas. But anyway, I'll get to that. That's why I'm like, I might do another one if I'm guided to. But I mean, what are we on? If this is 9, don't know. It'll depend if I'm guided to. But yeah, I appreciate you saying that. Everyone says that, but like I was overweight for math, so um maybe the different hairstyles are working wonders. Maybe. The fasting feels really good for breaking heavy emotional. Yes, it does. But as well, remember, it's like that's why I do that big week fast too. So it's kind of like, because you feel the energy so much as well. If you're doing it and then I'm doing that and you're open to it, you really you'll definitely feel what I've been doing. Basically, anyone that feels closer to me is going to receive that energy. But even if you just join the channel, because that's why I keep sharing that story of the woman that found me just before Christmas. Um, that on her session, we worked out that she was like, it was just a miracle. She was like, one day this was an issue, and the next day it wasn't. I couldn't work it out. And then I was like, wait a minute, when did you start? When did you subscribe? And she was like, and she told me, and I was like, I'd just finished a week fast. I said, now is like fast and pray that anyone that's got an addiction or a bad habit or anything, that's and it's all past, present, future. So I was like, even, and but it wasn't as far out. Like she had just subscribed, and then she was only watching the shorts. I think she only watches the shorts, and then um yeah, and then she was like, yeah, she was, there was no doubt that she'd felt it. So, but yes, like I said, the doctors aren't going to tell you that because they wouldn't make any money. It does work, so keep at it. It's funny how you can be starving at night, really wanting to break your fast, but then in the morning you feel like you could go till the evening again without food. Yes. So what? So are you? You were. I know you were doing intermittent fasting, but have you done a wee bit longer now then? Right. So what have we got for the masculine? How's the masculine stuck in the South Node if they are equivalent now? Oh my God! If the same card comes out, that's going to be insane. Oh God, it's not the same card, but it says heartbreak. Heartbreak. Heartbreak is a part of the human experience. It will pass. So sorry to laugh, but what I'm kind of feeling here is like, it's like the guy in that film, because that's what happens. If you're new around here, that is part of my creative gift, is I weave I weave the songs and the films in, and it just happens naturally, and it usually is scarily like what I've just watched, and the cards are backing it up. Although that guy was, and at one point in the film, actually, on their engagement party, he goes out to the sea and he's looking out to sea, and the mum is beside the one that he's meant to be marrying, And she's like, that's a bit weird, is it not? And she's like, what's weird? She's like, well, the fact that he's looking out to sea like a lovesick sailor. Because he's thinking about the other one that's sitting at the other table. And she's like, no, he's fine. And then she runs off to get him, but she knows what he's thinking about. And basically, what this is getting across is it's someone that's been bullied into a marriage or an engagement. You know what I mean? And this is what I say all the time. These toxic women are everywhere. Like, you better watch your back, guys out there. It's people are just fucking dying, to get in. It's like they're dying to get married, even if it's like, oh, because that's a thing in that other film that I like. That was weird. Every time they changed timeline to try and save him, I found that interesting. Oh, do you know what? Actually, I don't like that now. They've copied that film about time because that's what happens in that. Basically, every time she tried to save him, the sister kept getting stuck with a toxic boyfriend, and that's the same as that about time. So I don't like that. It's like they've copied the film. But it was a good film. Yeah, and she was stuck with kind of like a narcissistic guy that was just kind of like talking to her like shit. Whereas if they hadn't changed it, she was with a nice guy. Um, yeah, so it's like heartbreak's part of the human experience. It'll pass. Like, I want the other one. I'm in love with the other one, but it's never going to work. So I'll just pick this person because it makes more sense. Um, I can contain my feelings more. I can be in control this way. Unseen. Love can be blind. Ensure you're not overlooking red flags. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Scorpio can be brutal, right? And I've got, Pluto's 0° Scorpio conjunct my rising. Time goes by so slowly. Every little thing that you said or do, I'm hung up on you. Like that guy in that film, Madonna. Overlooking the red flags. I tell you what, if you fucking see that film, you'll see what I mean. It was creeping me out. Imagine having a best friend around you that is that jealous. Like, it'd be bad enough if it's some fucking weirdo out there that's in competition with you, but if it's your actual I think it's maybe they're more like frenemies, but I mean it's like that's strange, isn't it? That's like the film. I think I want that for the thumbnails. Sacrifice, toxicity. Oh my god. What is going on here? Love may come with sacrifices. Evaluate what you're willing to give up. Well, for some weird reason, that film, he sacrifices their love for that connection. Toxicity. Toxic relationships can drain your energy and self worth. Be aware, right? I mean, it's not a very nice thumbnail, but I kind of feel like this isn't going to be a very nice story. Yeah, exactly. Like what I was saying about in that film, it's a toxic relationship where she's basically bullying the guy she's engaged with, and he's sneaking off to sleep with the one he used to be with, which again is not right. Like, and again, if it was real life, don't fucking do that to yourself if you're the Katie Holmes character. But she was in love with him. Right. Okay. Makes sense. So your body eating all our fat reserves during the night, not doing it now, but done, but done. Oh, well done. That's brilliant. I'm proud of you. Yeah, 24 hours is a huge achievement. That is brilliant. Yeah, I know it sounds like it's hardcore, but remember, that's what I say everyone to be aware of. That because I've been doing this for 15 years, that is not something that you just wake up one day and decide to do. Like that would be very dangerous. So, but fasting isn't dangerous. I must stress that. It's just, don't nobody, yeah, unless you've been fasting for a while in that too. But definitely, like you're a good goal for you would be 36 hours. Like you could definitely do that. I think. But maybe you need to do like I think I'm just trying to think. I think I'd done. I don't know how many 20. I think I skipped 24 hours because I'd just been doing the juice fast and that for years before. I think I'd done like a couple of 36-hour fasts. Now this was a few years ago now, and then I'd done 3 day fasts, and then I went for it for the 7 days. But again, remember, I built up to that. But no, that's brilliant. Well done. The mental clarity is great, but I become a fucking maniac just pacing about looking for toasties. Oh fuck, I know. The first time I done that as well, like the first time I done like a 36-hour fast, I didn't really research much, like, you know, and I should have known, but I didn't research much, like, about how to break the fast. I think I've done exactly that. It wasn't a toasty, but I was like, bread, give me carbs. Do you know what I mean? Like today, it was so. I thought that's fucking typical. I'm fucking dreaming about every night is fucking olive toast. Do you know what I mean? Not olive toast. Yeah, olive bread. Like I love. It's in the co-op. It's this It's called Kalamata olive sourdough or something, and it keeps selling out. I mean, I used to get it no bother, but now it keeps selling out, and I thought, sorry, I keep getting the book. Keep getting the book. I don't know if it's a dog hair or I don't know. Let's drink the electrolytes. But I think I've got a dog here. That's what. Oh no, if I think about that, I'll be sick. It's like I feel like something's going about me. So I've done this big food shop of all this healthy food, right? Because I'm going to like tomorrow, either tomorrow or definitely Wednesday. But I think towards the end tomorrow, I'm going to have like a giant bowl of like scrambled egg and like tomatoes and mushrooms. Um, and then I could definitely have bread on Wednesday, but I might have pushed it and had some tomorrow. Um, I think I'll leave it till Wednesday. I'm too cautious. So, so I done this big massive food shop, right? The only really thing I cared about was the bread, and the fucking bread was the only thing that was sold out. Remember, I said this before. Every time I do that on the Just Eat thing, I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" So I text my mum today. I was like, "Please, if you see like olive bread, anything or a roll, like please fucking get. I'm addicted to it." I was like, "Please get me it." Um, like when that's all you've been wanting for a week. Do you know what I mean? I could have done without that. But honestly, you're so fucking grateful to just be eating. I'm not really gonna care. Right, okay, so the next one is the divine feminine, male or female. What would be good for you to focus on for your north node? Oh my god, an hour already. What would be a good thing for you to focus on right now if you're not already? Self love. Practice self love. 10-10 could be significant. Nurture your inner child. So, yes, I feel that was definitely a weekend of, I mean, these don't need to be real time, but if it resonates, like, I feel that was definitely a weekend for all of us to nurture our inner child. Because Pisces sun, very sensitive, Scorpio moon, very sensitive, very silent, very deep feeling placements. Um, really quite rough, actually. Which is why I think I felt more hungry. I don't know, you know what I mean? Because, like, a lot of us, well, me, I'm sure some of you as well. When I want comfort, I often do go and like get food. You know what I mean? Like I do love food. So you know what I mean? It's hard in that way because I do love food, but I don't just sort of I do build up to them. Like I get and you know, it's like again, I hear God telling me to do it for me and for other people, and I just follow my instructions and I'm able to get through it. Um but I feel yeah, I felt stuff deeper. I had to be very, very kind to my, especially on Friday. I had to, which looked like curling up in my dressing gown with my hood up, my hot water bottles, and watching the Hangover trilogy. You know, so that could come into it too. Like on that, I only watched that third one. I think last year I hadn't seen it, and it's got a bit where at the end Alan's like, "There's something I have to tell you all." And it's something like this, right? And they're all like, "What?" And he's like, "I have to. I can no longer be part of the wolf pack. I have to leave with my soulmate." Do you know what I mean? So that could be part of this too. That maybe somebody's like going to be like, in order to be the person I need to be with, I need to break away from the wolf pack. You know what I mean? And I'd imagine with this story, it's probably going to be because the wolf pack's caught up with a karmic person. I'm just reading between the lines or whatever's going to come out here. Um, and then he's like, "But I will see you on Tuesdays for bowling, and I will see you on the alternative Thursday for this." So funny. Right, what? So feminine focus on self-love, and then the masculine emotionally will focus on self-love. Masculine fast track to ascension. Oh, look. Masculine soul merger, ebb and flow. Because you know that bit that I was reading there. What the hell is it my hair? Is it hair, my face, or what the fuck is it? This card to me is that there's either an energetic astral soul merge going on, which remember what I said, like, you know, the 8th house is that soul merge energy. Or this can be literally a physical union coming together. So I feel if it's like the drama that I just read, I feel it's probably going to be somebody's got out of a toxic union or marriage or relationship, however all that bit's going to fit in, and being pulled to a union. Trust, ask, listen, and allow. And I feel, you know, the thing that you need to focus on is to trust. Like, it all doesn't make sense right now. Okay, it's cryptic. There's a lot of crypticness in this. Right, so for the, what will we go for now? We'll go for this deck. Subconsciously. I've already, is that the deck? I've already used that one. Oh my god, I've got too many that look the same now. I'm like, no, that's the one I just used. What's this one again? That's the one about toxic relationships. Let's use this one. You lost, oh, it's that one again. You lost me. Final straw, self-respect, power move. So subconsciously whirling about there, maybe even getting dreams about it. The feminine's like, you've lost me. Like, you know, you chose to go in a different direction. Obviously, I am nowhere. Oh, I said this the other day. Obviously, I'm nowhere near the top of your list, your priorities. So, you know, I'm worth losing. That's what the feminine kind of is thinking about in the dream time, and then when it sinks down in the conscious mind, it's game over. But it's not actually true, because I pulled that card in reverse, and then we've also got in the back, can't move on. So can't move on, stuck in a loop, missing them, no closure. So wow, I mean, that just, I geek out in the fact that that is exactly like that film, and exactly like what that girl says. I've tried to move on from them, I can't. We're both in love with each other. So you might have tried to move on from this person and you can't, because you've been shown in a vision by God that this is the person you're meant to be with. If it's not that strong, you just know that you're twin flames. But you know what I mean? You're like, I can't move on. It's not a kind of, I don't wanna. It's like, no. It's like, it's one of these things, you just know. You just know if you know. It's like there's just no. You've got no desire to. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Right, masculine. Funny to see what comes out here. Rehearsing the past, mental scripts, guilt, self-blame. Oh wow, it's like a film again. So yeah, someone's like, you know, going over everything that's happened in the past, blaming themselves. I should say, so like perhaps like this person's wanted to speak up and explain, but they couldn't. And it feels like as well, like I know I'm asking about subconscious, but look, I've got, I gave you my all, overgiven, drained, love unreturned, used and discarded, thrown away, devalued, emotional trash. See how much that fit with what I just said? It feels like this masculine is reflecting on how it must have felt. Like, because look, it's got the sad woman in both these cards. It's like I can feel somebody being like, I didn't see it like that. Like, I just wanted what I wanted, but I now can see, like, you know, it's like I've treated them like they don't matter when they do matter. So, like, how are they ever going to believe me? And so the masculine can see that you're choosing yourself. I choose me. Self love, emotional maturity, clean break. it's weird. It's like the masculine's higher. So it's not weird. It's what's meant to happen. It's like the masculine's higher self's like, well done for not taking my crap. That's what. That's how I've taken that message coming through. Right. So conscious mind. I'm going to use these toxic relationship cards because they're not always that toxic. What is the issue then? Consciously, between the feminine and the masculine, what does the feminine think is going on? Regardless of how long it's been, let's just see. Whoa! Oh my god, I'm going to geek out again. That makes so much sense. This card says ignoring red flags, and the masculine got ignoring red flags. But you see, that would make sense consciously, right? So again, remember, this can be people's past, present, or future. But this is what I always say. This is why, if you know that that is your twin flame or your kingdom spouse, you've got to take responsibility too, because this would say, right, although I'm talking about the conscious mind, it's like at some point you consciously knew you were ignoring some kind of red flags. Now, this could be a friend, like in that film I've just spoke about, where, that's a red flag for enemy, isn't it? Um, you know, if you ignore a red flag in your family, whether it's a friend, oh, family, yeah, because I didn't need to say family, but that must be someone. If you ignore a red flag in your family, your friends, with lovers yourself, or in the past, like you can catch up, or which is why you'll find a lot of divine feminines, male or female, have been single and celibate for like years on end. Because really, if they haven't, I don't think they're really. I don't know how genuine they are, right? Like if you've got a twin flame teacher out there that's a divine feminine that's dating somebody else, that is like pretty random. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying that's a bit weird. But like they're making life harder for themselves. Well, you know what I mean? It's kind of like it to me. It's like you couldn't sort of. I don't know. It's either not having the. I don't know, because remember, I wouldn't say that if I wasn't a twin flame, or if I wouldn't even be fucking doing this. Like, you're fucking kidding me. There's no way I would be telling these love stories. But I am. So, but yeah. Anyway, um, trust your instincts and address red flags early. Your intuition is your guide. Basically, I would say that if you are this feminine, if this resonates, you ignored a red flag in your life somewhere. So think back anywhere in your life where you knew someone wasn't trustworthy, a friend, and you kept ignoring the red flag, gaslighting yourself, and then they turned out to be a backstabber, or they betrayed you in some way. Or this could be more than a few people. It means that the masculine, in this case, it looks like, chose a karmic partner that was like that too. Now, it doesn't mean it's your fault, feminine, but it's good to be able to see the mirroring, and it helps you kind of understand when it all comes together and you talk. It helps you to kind of understand and be a wee bit more like, oh, actually, I remember a time in my life when I was ignoring the red flags and I just kind of allowed myself to feel like crap. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, but that's what I think. That's been unconsciously pay attention to red flags, but also in this, if it's like that film, like I'm saying, like that girl is, well, ignoring the massive red flag that he's sneaking off to be with her, but then marrying somebody else. That's a bit of a red flag, I would say, but that seems too obvious to point out. But that is, that is I mean, if I have to fucking say that out loud, I mean, I'm just like, but some people do need to hear, that. Sadly, it's not even funny because some people haven't got any self-respect and they do that. You know what I mean? They don't, and I'm not saying that like they don't love themselves. You know what I mean? Uh, I got a feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night. That song that could be relevant. Masculine jealousy. Aye, well, fuck. See what I mean? It's like that film. Holy shit! Jealousy. Oh, that's funny. It's got an apple on it. It says "To the fairest," and I also watched. I told you I jam packed quite a lot. I just stayed in a little because the thing is, right, Pisces season is about films and creativity, and when it's like double water, even if I hadn't had that, believe me, that was one of the most. I don't know. That just really, well, I do know it. That really shook me up on Friday. That was horrible. Just horrible. Um, but again, I'm more feeling for the family, but it's just the fact that I was guided to come on and finish it live, and then that happened live. I still can't even get my head around it really. Because there was a whole lot of technical difficulties that she couldn't chat as well because she wasn't meant to, because she needed to go somewhere else. It's just fucking nuts. But yeah, like I watched Mirror Mirror. I think it's called Mirror Mirror or Mirror Mirror on the Wall. It's Julia Roberts as the evil queen anyway, and that's a brilliant film. And basically it's like Snow White. Well, it is. It's an updated Snow White. It's like she's like insanely jealous of Snow White, and so you could sort of tweak that to this story to be again very like that film I've been talking about, just like a female, whether it's known to the feminine, whether you know them or whether you don't know them, just somebody that's like so jealous of you, they would stop at nothing. Because I mean, she tried to kill her in the woods, kind of thing. Oh, that's probably one of the words we're not allowed to. Okay. I'm like, what are we allowed to say? Trust in yourself and your partner. Open communication can help to build a foundation of mutual respect. But what would actually, do you know what? I've, you know, I did that. I've got like so many notes. So I'm not going to read them all. But oh, do you know what was a really weird one? Right, I was watching Trolls. I did. I watched it. It was quite good. The Trolls from like 2023. I was recording it for my nieces, but I did watch it, right? And there's a bit where they actually say that the person stealing the voice is a succubus. Like that is a real demon. That is like, I've cleared that from people before. I'm like, oh my god, they're not even hiding it in this film because they do that a lot in kids' films. And it's like, so I've put succubus stealing my voice because they can't sing. Hello, that's all coming out. Like if you're paying attention to you know what I mean? People like Beyonce and who else? J-Lo and that, like they did steal people that can really sing. Like they stole their voices and didn't pay them for it and that. That's quite common knowledge if you've been down that rabbit hole. Um, and it's the whole thing where like I always thought that was weird when Adele like thanked Beyonce in her speech. It's like, where the fuck's this coming from? It's because it's a bit of a cult. If you don't, like, something might happen to you. They say it's for fame and money and put them in a jar, right? So that's what happens to the wee person that can sing. They put them in a jar. That's like some crazy witchcraft that does happen. Like, you know what I mean? They say, right, I'm going to put them in a jar. And that can stop people from moving on, can fault their finances, it can make them very ill. If any of you wicked fuckers that watch me do that to me or anyone else that I protect, you're good luck with the karma that's going to come for that kind of shit. I don't think it's worth it. I'd stop playing with that now because we're in Scorpio. Well, we're not in Scorpio moon, but I am in Scorpio moon feeling because this is for Scorpio. But Scorpio shadow is like that, dark, dark, dark stuff. But I must stress, if you've got a Scorpio moon, you can be a powerful healer. You can be a psychic detective, but and then I've wrote wee trolls asking not to be eaten. I'm not going to elaborate on that one, but I think you know what I'm saying. Quite disturbing. Quite disturbing. Like the messages in plain sight in that film, and loads of films. Basically that is part of my gift. Is unfortunately I can't not see. Although I love lots of these Disney films, especially, and all these other Pixar and that, it's like it screams at me. Like, do you know the other one? Like, see what I mean? Whenever I'm doing Scorpio, I always talk about sex, and it's not like, oh, it's not always the fun kind of stuff about it. It's the dark, serious stuff too. That I knew when I watched that Sausage Party, right? Which, if you're watching it and you've not got your third eye open, some of it can seem pretty funny, right? If you're watching it and you've got your third eye open, it makes me want to vomit because, in light of stuff that has come to light for a lot of the collective now, it's spelling it out for you. That film is very disturbing. very disturbing. So, you know what I mean? Go and watch that again and see the different spin on what I mean. But it's in all of them. It's these fucking creepy bits. Oh shit! I've actually wrote loads of notes about that mirror mirror. Right, I'll just read out the notes quickly and see how it ties in. The beast told you that you were undesirable, but she lied. Evil queen manipulates the prince, then does a love spell. So that the evil queen could either be a mum or a lover, because she puts a spell on him. That's quite funny, that bit. So jealous when the prince comments on her black hair and her white skin about Snow White, right? And then someone says you're a man in love, right? About the prince. So that could be like that could be like in that film last night. The mum commenting to the one he's meant to be marrying, he looks like a lovesick sailor. And why would he be lovesick if he's marrying you? Because he's not in love with you. He's in love with your pal. And he says, "Is it that obvious?" And then he talks about how much he likes her, and then the queen lies about her. And oh yeah, so that's when the queen. So remember, the queen could be a mum, or the queen could be, I don't know, the queen could be like a karmic anyone, a friend or a family member, or a lover. She makes up all this shit about Snow White, being like she's this and she's that, and it's all just lies. So that could be like when someone lies about the divine feminine, and then puts them under a love spell to love her, and uses a black magic doll. And then this is further on in the film. All the wee, what do you call them? The dwarfs around the Snow White are like, "What about the prince?" Because she's leaving, and she's like, "He loves someone else." Again, so that's like the film last night too. And then they convince her to crash the wedding. And then, do you know what? This is the most random thing. When I was in the bath yesterday, it was like the song I had. There is something about a wedding because I had the song I had in my head was, "I'm glad I crashed the wedding. It's better than regretting." It's what's that band called again, Connor? Glad I crashed the wedding. Better than regretted. It's not like I really liked them in it. I'm busted. That's it. But then, how weird is that? Because I've just realised that was in my head when I was in the bath, and I was like, right. And then I watched that film. So I didn't find that film till after that song was in my head, and it fits because nobody crashed the wedding, but the girl that he was sleeping with did say to the bride, like, "Look, I have to tell you, I slept with him last night, and I've slept with him quite a few times." And and the other one's like, "Why are you telling me this?" You know what I mean? It's like, because you're about to fucking marry somebody that's cheating on you, and it's what am I channeling? Um, and then she kisses him and it breaks the spell because it's getting across that it's only the real person that's meant for you would be able to snap you out of this. The queen is nothing compared to you, right? So that's what he says when he wakes up. So that would either be, well, that would only make sense for romantic. The karmic is nothing compared to you. So that's the divine masculine waking up from the karmic spell, so aka manipulation. The queen finds out the price for using magic as her beauty fades and she disappears. She turns into an old lady and she tries to trick her again with Apple. The king comes back confused as he was under the queen's spell. Snow White, oh, the king is Snow White's dad. So somebody, so actually, that could be like a karmic person that's got like somebody's dad under a spell too, like you know, probably like convincing them they're all sweet as pie and they're nothing but everything but. Um, Snow White and the prince marry, and it's important to know when you've been beaten. Oh, I like that. At the end of the film, she says it's important to know when you've been beaten because the old lady queen, when she's turned into her old lady ugly self. Not, by the way, not older women can be very attractive, but she's an older witch in this. Um, it's important to know when you've been beaten, and then she doesn't eat the apple. Right, okay, that's all of that. But there's loads of shit. So, but also, I feel this is on the conscious mind of the masculine is the masculine could have jealousy issues because of dealing with someone like that. So, do you know what I mean? Or this could be in the past you've had to work through that. Well, look, financial control. Gain financial independence and assert your right to make your own financial decisions. So again, there could have been some kind of manipulation around money there as well. Did I read all your comments? Was watching that as it happened on Friday. Said, "Oh yeah, yeah, that was just awful." Hope you're not talking about my sister's new husband. Fuck, I hope not too. What bit? None of it sounds very good, does it? God. Right. Right, we'll put that there. So, run out of room, put it in there. A bit chilly in here now. I bet it's going to be like more people come when I'm leaving. But I'm going to go and then I'm just going to eat something that's not that cup of soup thing because, you know what I mean, it's getting a bit boring now. Oh shit, actually, that'll be getting really cool. And then I'll come back. Oh, that's not very nice. Wait a minute, that's a bit too cold. Um, I said a hey ho. Remember that song, the Ketchup song? Uh, those early 2000 bands, Busted Blink 182 reminds me of her. All right, yeah. Although I said, oh, so I think I did quite like Busted. It's all about you. It's all about you, baby. Like I love. Oh my god, that was. I remember sobbing at that. That was beautiful. When that guy married his wife. See, that's a wedding. See what I mean? This is a wedding too. God, all I'm saying is, holy shit, man! If people aren't taking the warnings about not getting married and engaged in a Venus retrograde, I mean, it's not yet. So, but if people have actually planned weddings for Venus retrograde, it's like it's going to be popcorn time for the rest of us. Uh, yeah, and he changes the words. That was so lovely. Like he changes the words. It's just like you know what I mean. It's just yeah. It's that was really lovely. Obviously, only if your man could sing. I suppose it'd be a bit different. A bit different if they couldn't sing. Darling, I know you love me. Just sit down for fuck's sake. Oh dear. Oh, laughing at my own joke. So, what karmic lessons are they learning and what needs to be released? Let's use this deck. Fuck off with you singing the ketchup song. That's another one. I said, hey, oh, it's now zeros. It's double, oh, double, now double zeros. That's why I'm singing those. Right. What is a karmic lesson that the feminine or the masculine's feminine side is possibly learning now or something that you've worked through? Oh, it's that guy looking in the mirror. See, like that's like the guy in the film being like, "Fuck my life. Why am I marrying this control freak when I'm in love with the one over the lake?" Do you know what I mean? Change it where it's relevant. Own your past. You can't rewrite the past, but you can. Sorry, I'm just thinking about them. Oh my god, I'm just thinking about like everything, but the words that I've just said is if you can't rewrite the past, but you can change how it shapes you. Embrace your choices and let them become your wisdom. God. So, well, that's the feminine, right? So, on your divine feminine, you've male or female, you can rewrite the mistakes you've made in the past. But see how that fits with the meme that one of the memes that I posted, and I just picked them quickly. Was it was like the mistakes that she made her. I mean, it's better than that. It says something about the mistakes you've made have made you stronger. And I mean, I've always been open about that. I've made many mistakes in my life, but they've made me who I am, like anybody. And in human design, I am that type. Don't ask me what it's called. I always forget. But it's like a 3.5 or some shit like that. You know, I am in human design. I'm not. It makes sense and it doesn't. It's like I'm more like astrology, but human design uses astrology. But like yeah, I have to fuck up and make a mistake for myself to learn to integrate and then come back and teach others not to do it. I mean, and then you might still fucking do it anyway. But like, but it's so amazing because I have it is human design is real because I have done that. Like I am that for many people. Um, you know, I can't stop you from making all the mistakes in your life, but if I can help you with some of it, especially on the twin flame journey, then, you know, I absolutely will, you know, bend over backwards to try and help you do that. And it's, but yeah, it feels like, you know, you can't rewrite some of the stuff that's happened, some of the mistakes. A bit like what I've said as well, because if we lean into that film, like, although again, I completely don't agree with if that was happening in your life, I don't agree with that at all. And sadly, lots of people will do that in the twin flame journey and just in love and life in general. Like, they will fuck around with somebody's husband or wife behind somebody's back for years on end. And, like, you know, everyone will have their own reasons for doing it. But I just wouldn't be able to sleep at night. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not like, you know, I don't mean to be passing judgment if you've done that in the past or if you're still doing it, but like, I'm just talking about me. Like, me personally, I couldn't do that. Because I wouldn't want it done to me, so I wouldn't do it to somebody else. Full stop. Fuck's sake, if I'm saying I can't even fucking date some other fucking guy when he's not even, when I'm not actually even, he's never even been my boyfriend, and he's nowhere to fucking be seen, then that's how fucking loyal they both are. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's kind of like, yeah, I just think no, you know what I mean? I wouldn't be able to. But um, yeah, whatever you take from all of that, it's just own your past, right? I feel this is masculine self emotionally though. You can't rewrite the past, but you can change how it shapes you, embrace your choices, and let them become your wisdom. So it's like, you know, you've made some bad choices in the past, like the feminine, because you've both at some point ignored red flags. So it's either you've ignored the red flags about each other, that you're not, that's not the right time for you to fool around or be together or whatever. And that's what I've said before. It's like, you know, although that film takes it a bit too far because it just seems a bit too far fetched to me. So they kind of really, if it's meant to be that they're not really best friends. I'd say they're like in a big friendship group, and it's like keeping your enemies closer. But it's why I feel like the ultimate test is if your twin flame comes to you and they're not ready. Like, that is a hard uh, test to pass, and a lot of people won't pass it because it's like, if you love this person, and especially if drinks involved, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? You will just think fuck it. You know what I mean? It's like, especially if a Scorpio moon or something. So it's kind of like, but you know what I mean? All jokes aside, it's like you're going to fuck up, but it's just kind of like, that's why you have to be very protective of your heart and discerning. And ultimately it's like a higher, there, like on a higher plane, the masculine is testing you, well, actually sometimes consciously too, to see if you're going to take the same crap that other people will. It's all a big fucking fun game, really, isn't it? But then eventually, I think if you've done something like that, or however many times, or you know, it's like you would see through it. And even if this was like years ago and you're younger, and then just be ready for the test, you know. That's what I think I'm getting from this. But let me tell you, the one in the film last night, she failed, but she didn't look like she was minding outside that tree in her silky nightie. But it was quite romantic because it was like they were, as they were, you know, getting it on, he was quoting. Wait a minute, he was quoting, like, it was a bit. I'm telling you, whoever wrote that film has copied all my favourite films and merged it together after, because he was quoting some romantic thing in her ear. But the point was to get across that he's like very, like, closer's just come on Neo. Like, he was very kind of like no passion and no feelings with the one he's marrying, but then when it comes to the other one, it's like a fire's lit and he's quoting Ode to a Nightingale. My heart aches and a drowsy numbness pains my sense as though of hemlock I had drunk. I'm not reading it all, but it was a bit. It was like, it was about pining for someone. I did quote it in my phone though. I did put. Anyway, it's probably because I fancy that guy. I'm just being honest. It's like, yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, I've got a type, dark hair, dark eyes. Um, Even though he was being you know what I mean? He was being a bit of a bad boy in that film. I was like, we'll just turn a blind eye. It's only a film. Um, Oh, that's the bit he says. Was it a vision or a waking dream? Like, that's what he whispers in her ear. I was like, oh, whispers in her ear. I was like, holy shit. But that's kind of twin flame journey too, isn't it? Was it a vision or a waking dream? Like, he sees her as like not real, so I could just do this whenever. Not good. Um, do this whenever. But I would say for this would be translated to like just fantasize about the person rather than actually literally going through it. It just seemed to have fun on tap in that film. Do you know what though? I bet you I can feel into this. People wouldn't admit it, but I bet you that is the case for some of you. You're letting somebody have too much of you when you shouldn't. I can feel it. I could feel it when I was saying it. Book a session. I'll help you with that. Because you're never gonna get them the way you want them to that way. Because it's like you're just giving them what they want. Like that's what's stupid about that film. Right. It's not even the best of both worlds because it looked like a fucking misery with the one that was acting weird. I'm just thinking. I think I already just quoted all of this stuff. Oh yeah, I think there must be something with this the group of collective that are going to resonate with what I'm channeling. There must be something about like so say like you're in some kind of contact or there's something about this that I don't know, there's something quite taboo that like if the divine feminine was to find out that like you're engaged or married or have a kid or you know, and if you were to find out shockingly or through some other way, there's something about the masculine feeling like it's a betrayal. Because in that, obviously it's a betrayal because he's just slept with her the night before and then she finds out through the one that he's marrying being like, do you want to be my bridesmaid? I'm engaged. But it's again fucked up. But it's kind of like I think it's that's for other people. It's like something about because then he says sorry to her. Like when they're on their own, he's like, I'm sorry for not telling you. And then I can't remember what she says, but he's like, so did you miss me? But you see, that's toxic. If someone's like, you know, if someone's married someone else and they're like, but did you miss? That's like somebody's like wanting the attention from everywhere. Um, I'm just laughing at me. I wrote this down. The bride to be is drinking, doing a face mask, and looking at an old photo of those two. And I put that face. It was like she was also popping some kind of pills. I was like, what is this film? Um, and then the two are in love and away from all the friends, and they're, you know, I owe you an apology. And then she's like, yeah, heads up would have been nice. Yeah, you know, hey Laura, I know I saw you last night and countless other times over the past 10 years, but I'm getting married tomorrow. I guess this beautiful mess is best to end without notification. Yes, I think there's something in the past that this person could have given you a heads up, like put a closure to it, and it'll just be that old nutshell that they did. Well, obviously in this film he didn't. He wanted to put a closure to it because he, but I think that's how it's going to be. Like this person didn't want to do that because then it's like putting an end to it. He tells a story about the sea. Says he's afraid of the sea. So he's afraid of her. And then he even says, I'm going to spend I know I'm going to spend the next 50 years of my life regretting this, like marry another one. Fucked up. Hello, Joe. I'm going to tell everyone you're okay. That's what she says, right, to all the group of the friends. And he's like, but I'm not okay. I'm not. Tries to tell his bride to be, oh yeah, I've said that. He tries to tell the bride, I don't want to marry you. And she's like, well, you still are. Weird. Symbolic of masculine try to tell the karmic and she goes nuts. Like, you know, and the thing is, if people do, it's like that. I know that would be if you were a chronic people pleaser because you grew up in like a narcissistic sort of environment. People would do this. They do it. Um, I've read the rest of it. Laura admits she's in love with him and he loves her. The girl is a weirdo copycat. She projects and says she's envious when it's her. She's bullying her. I won and you're jealous. He asked me to marry him, not you. Then the storm happens, woman, then it ends. That's funny. That's what I wrote about that film. That's basically what I've relayed, isn't it? Right, so and how are you doing, Joe? I don't know if I asked. It usually just rolls off my tongue naturally, but I can't remember if I did. Did I just read the I can't even remember. Did I read the karmic? Like, I did, didn't I? Right. What's the shadow work? Let's use this deck because it's got. Well, this is a deck that's got jealousy in it. Good. I'm glad you're good. So let's see if jealousy comes out. Oh, I used to like that. And it hurts with every heartbeat. How's that go again? I'm like that. I can't remember. Robin. I can't remember the words. Can't remember the words. What is a shadow work card? Yes, just just a bit of a rough weekend, and I'm sad for other people, and you just feel a bit helpless, don't you, when you can't help people that have just went through. And like I said, it's unfortunately it's not just what you saw live again, because it's like I don't know how. To be honest, yeah, I'm okay leaving it because you have seen me cry enough, and like I said, it's real life. But it's more just if Suzanne wanted me to take that down, so I don't. She's not going to be watching this, but if she's I purposely didn't look at my emails from a few people before I done this because I thought if something upsets me before I'm not going to be able to do this, so I'm going to look after. But yeah, if she wanted me to take that down for any reason, I absolutely would. But um, I don't know. I might be wrong, but I don't actually think. I think she would be okay with it because I think she's. I've only met her once on Friday, but it's like I feel she's that kind of person that it is real life. You know what I mean? Uh, and I do feel Brian wanted everyone to have a harsh wake up call. Like, don't be wasting. Oh my god! And then that kind of that's quite deep, isn't it? But we are in the Scorpio one. Like, don't think you've got forever, because that was a what I can tell you is that was a car accident. Someone just wiped out. You know what I mean? 19, I think. 17 flashed up on the telly. I think someone was maybe, but yeah, I think a 19. It's just tragic. That's what I've not really been able to get my head around because you know what I mean. Your life's just starting. Uh, but as well as that, like I said, we've got another close soul family member that I'm waiting to hear about her family member. So, and then I'm sure when that person does pass the spirit, that person will want me to let you know, and then she'll come back here when she's ready. Maybe not for a while. Um, it's just all a bit shit, really, isn't it? But I suppose this is getting older. But what happened on Friday isn't getting older. That's not. That's just one of these. Like I said, it's a wake up call. Don't take any. Don't. And the thing is, I always say very bluntly, I could walk out here and get hit by a bus. Any of us could. We could all. You know what I mean? Anything could happen like that. Especially it's Mercury retrograde too. You've got to be more discerning. It's like you'll hear more things happening like this. Mercury retrograde in Pisces, confusion, illusion. So I think it's like really bad for things like traffic and stuff. But and then look, it's just the brutal. The way I then watched one of the films was about that, like a car accident. Um, right, shadow work for the feminine. Oh, interesting time, but it came out. No, 40. You could be 41. Might or might not be me. I'm not going to be able to say that for much longer, am I? I'm 41 for like what, another month ish, another month ish. Um, just an extra added thing. But yeah, time in reverse. I think the shadow work is that's actually quite nuts with what I was just saying. I just shuffled that after I said that. Time stops for no one. Time is an illusion, yes. And with twin flames and King of the Spouse, it is a timeless kind of love, but simultaneously at the same time, like every moment, every passing minute is a chance to turn it around. That's from Vanilla Sky. It's like the precious minutes and hours that make up 24 hours are your life. So if you're choosing to spend it with people that aren't where you really want to be, like what's up with that if you choose to do that day after day after day, year after year after year? Like, you know what I mean? What's going on there? It'll be a different story for different people. But I feel the feminine's like, I'm not I'm not over giving of my time. If I was like sort of pouring so much time into, look, because I know what they're saying. I love these cards. These cards just totally talk to me. Look, because it's black magic. Like pouring I'm not overextending the time that I give to this connection that I have in the past, because I know that black magic is involved. I know that there is people, karmic people, surrounded around my masculine that are determined for this not to even get going. You know, like it's you know, for to some of you it feels like it's doomed from the start, which might explain why I said at one point it feels like when I quoted the bit like Alan from The Hangover, like, I need to leave the Woolpack, I need to be with my soulmate. You know what I mean? That could be like not so funny, and it could be like, I can't be around you because you're all negative. Like, you know, you seem to not want me to be happy. But yeah, the feminine's like, I can't give time to this. Like, until this person's willing to prove to me that they want to make me a part of their everyday life, why should I be doing that for them when they're not even here? Still pray for them, but that is the way the messages come through. Right. Divine masculine in the shadows. Protection. In some cases, the masculine is protecting you, feminine, from these people. And holy shit, if it's anything like that film I was quoting, we know why. Because she was staring at a photo of the two that are in love, drinking and popping pills. You know what I mean? Like, needing help. Ignoring her family's advice that, I don't think he loves you, Hen. I think he loves her. Like, I think you better let this one go. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, that is just like, you do need to go and seek serious healing from all modalities, shamans, therapists, whatever, if your obsession with someone is to the point where you know 100% they're in love with somebody else, but you still want them and you'd play dirty to keep them. But that's what karmic, the real dark karmic people do. It reminds me of when I done the live stream, was it during the day on the Friday, or it was when I had the dog. Maybe it was during the day on the Wednesday, maybe. And the woman right towards the end, oh, the dog flashed up when I said that. She was basically saying that her, sorry if you are that woman watching this, because I can't remember your name, but she was saying that that her ex's partner does. Like, she basically stalks her, but like actually bothers her and stuff. But a lot of the time it isn't that. Like, they'll just gang stalk you and gossip about you and make out like they don't know who you are and they're not bothered, when really they're insanely jealous, and because they know where the attention of the masculine really is. And sometimes it might be different. It might be like that film and you kind of knew each other and somebody's used dirty tactics to get the masculine. And again, this is all like, that's what I mean. I don't really see a point in this. Like, you must have to feel really shite about yourself to do that, because it's not like you're going to sleep every night and waking up being like, oh my god, this person really loves me and they chose me because they wanted to. It's like, no, I fucking like bullied them into it. But some people have got control issues and they're like, yeah, kick it, it's just weird. Anyway, but the masculine's protecting you from something in the shadows. So when we tweak it to the story, it could be, oh yeah, I'm going to have to get that creepy deck. It could be, again, oh, it's going to come out, isn't it? That perhaps like a past relationship was really toxic and somebody, whether the person's with them or still, or even if they're not, like they spy on them and everything like that. What else before I pull one of what it could be? Dodging bullets, you know, protect it. What did it say? Dodging bullets, escaping crazy people, or Jezebel, or stalker. put it away now, haven't I? But protecting divine feminine. Divine feminine. I'm protecting you, divine feminine. Bad romance, police station, funeral. Oh my god, what the fuck? There's been enough talk about death in this. So that's quite a story. So yeah, somebody, I'd say there has been a bad romance that somebody got involved with. Whatever police station's all about could have got very. That could be all types of stuff. Funeral. I wouldn't like to think that was literal. That could just be a bad romance that is done, very done. But if it is an actual passing, you know, prayers and respect for anything like that. Oh fuck, what's that? Jezebel, yeah, Jezebel. Oh, I'm definitely not going back to the Jezebel. That's what I think we found the thumbnail. Oh no, I know the difference between a Jezebel karmic and a divine feminine now. I found out the hard way. Wait a minute. I had to fit, although I don't know if they would. I really don't know. Girl fight. Oh my god, that's exact. God, I love you. That film was shite, but that was a really good film. Look, no, it's not in the shot. That was a really good film to help me describe this. Arguments, physical fight at war, competing. Now we hope it's not going to that fucking stage, but it's like somebody competing with you. They don't care really about the masculine. It's just a big game. Because in that film, they grew up together, and the girl just wanted everything that she had. So it's like when I said before, that is like, you know, if you, some of you, I know for a fact, some of you will have friends in the past or frenemies still that, you know, they wouldn't comment at all on how good looking your masculine was or anything, but all the time they probably secretly fancied them. And when you're not, you know, around, like, you know, whispering sweet nothings in the corner, you know what I mean, or whatever it's, that is, you know, that's kind of feeling I'm getting. Because in that film, it's not quite the same. Like they're all still in some big fucked up friendship group, but going to get through this. Daniel Bedingfield just came on, but yeah, that's quite nuts at that. But we need to cover the Jezebel card. Someone's moving, so somebody could literally be moving out from a Jezebel, dust it off. Someone's in their head about the feminine, overthinking, stressed, and overanalyzing. Sweet talk. Oh my god, look. Normally that would be the masculine wanting to sweet talk the feminine. That I do think that's relevant. But I think this is as well. Someone was trying to sweet talk your masculine, whether you know them or not. A Jezebel. Do we need to know anything else? Rejected. Oh, that's very specific. Somebody could have tried to sweet talk a masculine and they were rejected. Or somebody sweet talked a masculine and they didn't reject them and they wish they had. Police station. Time to put the cards down when they get a bit crazy. Although I do just one more shuffle just to see if the stalker or crazy or anything comes out. Definitely given that. Looking you up, we'll take that. Researching you, studying you, getting info. Again, a copycat energy that is obsessed with the masculine and the feminine. Throat chakra. Loving the brain, dreaming, fantasizing, daydreaming, nostalgic, like the guy in that film can't get his head off of the one he really wants. A closer look, nosy up your business, inside scoop. So yeah, you know, you'll know for different people. Either this is somebody that somebody could currently still be with that knows the deal, but they're ignoring the red flags, and well, I suppose marrying somebody that's in love with somebody else, you know, rather than me. But I don't know, but or it's a past situation. Right, let's see. Let's get one of these. What does the masculine want to say about this? Must be love on the brain that got me feeling this way. Who's me, not the other guy? God, this guy's got a fucking cheat with what we've just seen. I look, I look at your social media every day. Hello, we're on the Scorpio one. That's giving Scorpio. And also, Heaven's just come on. finding it hard to believe we're in heaven. And that is what I got from that film, is it's like, you know, the guy, you really, really wanted the one he's in love with, but it felt too good to be true. So he's picking holes in it. And loads of people do that. So I think this is going to be more of a case, because of what I explained, of if you're really on the twin flame journey and you get what this is really all about, it's very highly unlikely that the feminine's dating other people or looking for other people. But it's like the masculine's worried that's what's going to happen. I love our telepathic bond. I feel you with me every day. I can't imagine my life without you. That doesn't make sense if someone was about to marry somebody else. Anyway, we're not going to psychoanalyze it too much, but I'm down to when it's a Scorpio one, because I'm just very Scorpio. I can't live up to your fantasies. So you see, that fits, that goes right back to the start. I feel this person was like, this is too good to be true. Yeah, I feel really strong feelings about her. I can tell she feels it, but she's gonna like move on to somebody else and abandon me, just like everyone does. So I'd rather pick somebody I'm not that arsed about. I realise now that no other person can replace you, because I've just got caught up with a Jezebel, and I need to tell you the truth. Sorry about the way it came out. I want to tell you the truth. Here's a story all about how I got caught up with a Jezebel. Right, okay, so Jezebel, divine feminine, rejecting the Jezebel. Can't hold the cards together very. No, a minute. Can I do that? Maybe in this hand. Yeah, Jezebel. I just want the word, because the lady is too sexy. Because like I said, a Jezebel don't turn up looking ugly. She's going to be like, hey, I got my sexy underwear on. Want to spend a night with me, and then I'll ruin the rest of your life. That's a Jezebel. I'm like smiling. Because I'm gonna put something in the title, like, you know, this divine masculine group now know something, like, you know the difference between a divine feminine and a Jezebel. Oh yeah, stay still clear. Yeah, that's good. All clear. Okay, fucking freezing in here, so I'm gonna try and wrap this up quite soon, and then come back at 8 o'clock. I usually just power through, but like I said, I want to go and eat something a bit more substantial. Not much, unfortunately, like an avocado or something boring like that. That's the worst bit of it. That's really the worst bit, right? I can get through, like I said, usually the not eating bit. It's the it's the what you need to eat the next couple of days. Boring as fuck, man. But anyway, I think towards the end of the week, I think I'm one of my best pals. I'm seeing her on Friday just in the morning, and I think me and my mum are going to go and do something nice, have a wee day trip or something. So I'm looking forward to that. Although I'm kind of swaying, because we could leave it another day, because I'm like, I just like what, and it doesn't help you talking about toasties. I'd want to have like toasties and shit like that, you know what I mean? And I don't, technically I could. By Friday, I could have something like that. Or I could just be sensible, and wherever we go, I could get something fairly healthy. But I love a toasty. Every day throughout having the flu, all I had was a toasty and soup. That's why I put on a wee bit extra weight, and I don't regret it at all, because I've lost it now anyway. But right, what would help with inner union? Let's go with this deck. No joke. Name Brian. Oh my god, yeah. So no jokes. The name Brian keeps coming up from before we spoke and after. Yeah, it has for me all weekend actually. Brian has been, but I feel it's because like I've had so much this weekend. I can't even really articulate. To be honest, that's what I meant by in normal which is what's ever normal around here. But in usual circumstances, I would be up for doing mediumship Monday. But in light of what happened on Friday, I'm a bit cautious because I've had, well, I've been seeing Brian's name everywhere, and that's fine. And that's actually because I've still to, if that unfortunately tragedy hasn't happened, me and Suzanne were going to be talking today or tomorrow, providing she could, and I think she could. But I don't know now because of that happening. Like I only just saw her email today, so she was just she was asking how I was, and I'm like, never mind how I am. You know, how are you? But it's uh she'll be what I'm sure that even though that has just happened, it's like she'll be wanting the comfort through him. So you might be picking up on, you know. But I've actually been seeing other people reaching out to me too. Like it's unbelievable. It is just unbelievable. I mean, I love being a medium, but it is unbelievable. Unbelievable. And it's too soon. You know, I think you can kind of read between the lines. It's I often think with something, you know, when somebody passes, it's not that it's too. It often isn't actually too soon for the receiver. It's too soon for me because I'm a counsellor as well. I'm like I can't. Yeah, like I had a moment. I think it was yesterday, watching one of the films. I don't know what it was that released today, but I had to just speak it out loud and tell the person to step back because I was feeling them too strongly, and I was sitting there crying. And you know, it's like it's one of these things that it's not. That's what I don't like about when I say I don't like Pisces energy. That's what I mean. I just feel things so deeply all the time anyway. But in Pisces season, it overwhelms me, and I feel everything. And it was just so. Yeah, I'm not really looking forward to Mediumship Monday. Do you know what I mean? So we might just, I don't know. We'll just play it by ear because again, it's just I'm trying. I've got to pay attention to my own energy and also just be respectful. It's quite hard to know what to do and all these things. Um, Thank you very much. You're so brave sharing those moments like Friday with us all. Well, I mean, Coca's Miracle just came on. The thing is, I didn't see it coming, did I? That was oh, it's kind of it. Like I said before that, like I didn't want to share that, but thank you for saying so because it's like I could have instantly deleted it or just got off, but um I like because if you don't understand that, you know, I'm sure people do. If you want, I stayed on because to me is, you know, there was a bit. What I will say is there was a bit of a misunderstanding, but it's still like it doesn't really matter the misunderstanding I had because it's still unbelievably shocking, tragic, and heartbreaking. But there was a wee bit of a slight misunderstanding on my part, but it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Like you know, I mean, it's still like I said, still a teenager died. That she was very close to. But it's just weird. All the technical things that were going on as well. It was like it, you know, because I had a feeling we maybe weren't even going to speak, or I knew we were going to speak, but not for long. And I think I said that on that live. And she also had a feeling like that too. And we'd never spoke before on a Zoom. But that's the weird thing. It's that's the unfortunate thing about the High Priestess, you know, in the tarot. You can feel things, or a bit like in that film when the mum says, "Oh, I just got a bad feeling it's going to rain tomorrow," and then it did rain. It's storm. It's an omen, you know, not to marry that person. But and it doesn't mean if it rains on your wedding day, you know, it's not because I've seen really romantic shorts and videos and stuff where, oh my god, I love that one. I don't know, I don't know if I can find it again, but it's like the couple are walking down the aisle and it's outside and it starts pouring rain, and instead of all running away, the bride and the groom just keep walking and laugh, and they kiss like in the rain, and it's just that's really nice. So it doesn't always need to mean that, but basically what I'm saying is we both had a bad feeling something was going to happen, but it's kind of like what I said about when I read that in that book years ago. the Lord works in mysterious ways. I can only assume that girl is a very special soul, and she can look out for her the people she loves. On the other side, but I don't want to be like that because I think that can, you know what I mean. If that had just happened, you'd be like, "Fuck you," do you know what I mean? You don't hear stuff like that, but it's just that I do feel she was, because that's what that card that fell. Like, I mean, I was in no mood. See, when something like that happens, when people actually pass, I'm no shuffling cards and shit like that. And that fell on the floor. Oh God, where is it? I mean, I posted it, didn't I? The best friend card, and that was really relevant. And that's what I mean about that, was obviously her already reaching out, and it's just like, that's crazy. But it'll just be her reaching out to be like, you know, what's happened, like, you know what I mean? Because when that happens like that, the soul goes into shock, you know what I mean? And that's what I say, like, that is part of my job. It's not a nice part, and it's very shamanic. It's very Scorpio 8th house, actually. Is I'm a counsellor for the living, but I'm also a counsellor for the dead, and that's what annoys me sometimes when I catch mediums talking about, you know, trapped spirits and that aren't true. Like, all right, well, good for you. You don't do that work, eh? I'm a medium and I'm a shaman, psychopob, and actually it does happen where if somebody dies in something sudden, like an accident, or like somebody doing it to them and they go that way, or doing it themselves. More so if somebody does it to them, I suppose, or if it's an accident. You're like, you know, it's like the Sixth Sense. Oh, look, I remembered that when he doesn't know, he's dead. You know what I mean? Also, I spoiler alert that very old film, but it's and ghosts. You know, that's happened to him, and he doesn't know. It is quite like that. Like, sometimes I just get the feeling, and I have to say out loud, "I'm sorry to have to," and I just, you feel, you know, I can feel stupid sometimes when I'm doing it, but sometimes just to be on the, you know, it's usually if I'm in the bath, or if I'm, sometimes it would just be like walking about, and I'll just be like, "Look, I hate to tell you this, but this is what's happened," and it can just sort of free somebody a bit more. But that's because that's what my job is. It's like how, you know, with the person, you know, with the people that's family members on the edge of life. Although that person is handling that, I'm so proud of that person handling that. That's, you know, I've had to be there as well when someone's at that stage of life, and that's a part of my calling as well. That, like I said, it's not something that everybody can do, but just because it's difficult, like, who wants to do that sort of stuff? But some of us we've just got that sort of energy to be able to handle it and do it. But that's what I'm saying, you know, you've got to also look out for yourself, because if I was doing that, if I was doing that type of loss where you know, it's a bit much. Which is why I only worked in the children's cancer ward for 9 months, but it was 9 months that felt like 2 years, you know what I mean? Did affect me till this, you know, for years on end. Got to think very carefully when you're dealing with stuff like that, and get lots of feeling yourself, basically. So, divine timing, a serendipitous event. Yeah, that's the feeling I'm getting with this. The next bit is what would help with inner union. Let go and let divine timing take over. So notice the feminine got time in reverse. Like, I'm not giving any more time to this. Like, there's no time to give to someone anyway. They're not here. So I'm going to focus it all in on me. Great. That's the best thing to do, because then they'll focus it in on you. And a serendipitous event occurs when you least expect it, because you just let it go. And that was the point of that other film, the press play. Stop trying to control things. Things are, if someone's destined and fated to be in your life romantically, you can try and, like, you know, cut corners and avoid it all you want. It's still going to happen, and not through anyone controlling it. It's what was meant to happen. That came out the last time I done this. workplace romance, common cause connection. Because I'm asking it in the what's best for inner union, I think when this comes about, for the people who resonate with this, you could be working together. Like you could be a group of twin flames that you're going to be doing some kind of. And I think it's with look at the very kind of somber way I was going, but I mean, it's kind of hard not to with all the loss going on. And again, remember, I don't really like to. It's me though. Link it to the astrology, but it is the astrology. Like Pisces season is grief, so every year I notice that in Pisces season there is a lot of deaths because like of what because it's grief and it's loss and it's endings. Um and it just makes it all that more sad, you know. Like it you think if you're not having a loss in your life recently, you're going to be thinking about things in the past, and the Mercury retrograde makes you think about the past too. But yeah, I think you could end up doing some kind of work together, like healing work, because it's your best friend. Notice how I was just trying to find the best friend card from the other deck, and it's come up here. That's what I mean about. I'm just going to try and step away from talking about Friday because I've been getting people, I've been getting stuff that I'm not going to talk about like any further because it's not. I'm getting heat in my heart. I'm going to have to talk to the right people before I big stuff. So, like, basically, I asked somebody's name, and then I've been seeing their name everywhere. Like, it's kind of nuts. Um, Friendship is vital to your romance. Feelings deepen and blossom. But again, like I said, I do think that's not a coincidence. That is definitely somebody taking their chance to dive in. But um, but I feel you're going to be best friends and working together, and I think you're going to help a lot of people. And I think because I'm talking to the Scorpio energy, wherever it is in your chart, it's like you, you would be somebody like myself that can handle the difficult things in life, like tragic loss or toxic relationships or like abusive situations, helping people with self-love and confidence, like all the many different areas that could go across. And then it's more than likely going to be because you've worked through that yourself. Hmm. Right. We've not used this deck in a while. What else? What do we need to know? No one compares. No matter how many people I've met and experience I have, there's no one who compares to you. I just love how they keep tying it back to that film. Again, if you've got a couple of hours to waste your time and watch a shite film, again, Josh Duhamel, tidy. Katie Holmes, don't bat for that team, tidy. Because it's quite an old film. You know what I mean? You could bash your head and watch it, but it was a bit boring. But kind of like, where's this going kind of thing. And then I just films like that with annoying endings. I'm like, fuck off, man, how annoying. But yeah, to this group of masculines, nobody compares. So I'm talking to people, even if your person is currently engaged or married to somebody, they're daydreaming and fantasizing about you, divine feminine. Sorry, harsh, but that is quite clearly what's coming through in this. It's the message I was getting in that film. It's tragic, really. But let's hope and pray that this is the karmic lesson, divine mistake. Somebody, to, damn, who's a sexy chick? Just came on. But I mean, is that like this person saying, you're a sexy chick, still drawn to you, or is that I got distracted by a Jezebel sexy chick? I could go either way. But you know what I mean? It's like let's hope that this is somebody's past, and that's what's waking somebody up. Like I would never make that mistake again. It'll be different for different people, different timelines. But the songs were better back then. The songs are shite now. Yeah, I'd say again, it's different for different people, as we know. But feeling lost, and that, like I said in that film, the guy is staring out, looking at the sea, quite literally, looking like a lost sailor. So I would say it's kind of like, you know, when I was getting on that live that I done, I think that was on the, I mean, I've not watched anything back, but I haven't, I don't end up doing it now, do I? But I would quite like to because I want to clip it. So maybe tomorrow when I'm dog sitting, I might watch one of them back. But yeah, feeling lost. I'm trying to make this work, but I feel so lost. I don't know what to do or say anymore, and it's just easier to stay silent. So it feels like, you know, somebody that's, in their opinion, made a mistake by choosing something that they perceived as easier, and it would seem like too challenging with you. But now they're feeling lost, and that's the whole point of that film, is that the guy is just like, why am I even doing this? And to be honest, it's really not obvious why he's dead. It seems like he's like under the fucking weirdo girl's spell. It's weird. Um, Here's, well, that's certainly the energy with this live stream, isn't it? Sorry, it's not exactly the serious. The Scorpio one never is. We're in Sagittarius Moon, and this is not giving Sagittarius Moon. I'm doing Sagittarius Moon on Wednesday, by the way, but this is definitely Scorpio vibe. Scorpio's my favourite sign. No shade, Scorpio people. You know I love you. It is my rising sign. I've got more Scorpio than probably anyone. When I think about you, I cry. It's just given that energy of it was too intense. Somebody wasn't used to the intensity of everything that you brought up in them. But it's one of these things where those masculine group of people have either done this already or they're currently asking themselves, but could I handle seeing them with somebody else all loved up, knowing that I could have had them if I wanted and I didn't do anything about it? And if someone is willing to let you go, ladies and gents, then loneliness just came on. Tomcraft. I don't even know how that goes. Oh God. What if I had never let you go? Would you be the man I used to know? Kate Winslet. When I sang that before Beck like that. What if? Regret, overanalyzing, imagined futures. Yeah, so that's creepy. That's exactly where this masculine's at right now, if this is resonating. What if I had just chose who I really wanted over who I ended up choosing? How could my present be now? What if I was actually happy rather than how I'm feeling right now? Whether the person's with the karmic person or not. Let's just get some wordy cards going and then I wonder if the overcoming childhood trauma or something's going to come out because that caught my eyes with Ricky Mon here. I was just thinking that when you said it with the Whoopi Goldberg really pulled off the intensity of mediumship. Yeah, I can't stand her as a person though. She's like totally, yeah. I think she was on the list, that list, but she's so woke. You know what I mean? But yes, before we were awakened to any of that or speaking for myself, I did like her and I did like that film. Fucking spoil all of our childhood memories, eh? Bloody Sister Act as well. Ah, I should have said, fuck. I have said this though. I said it at the start that the reason I felt I was so hungry when I've not been really hungry the other times I've done the 7 day fast is because I felt people battling strong addictions, right? I'm battling my addictions. So you see, in this way, like if we're tying it into that film, the addiction could be codependency. Like if a karmic, if it, like say like a mum has convinced, I'm just going with a mum because I don't know, that's what came to me. If a mum has convinced someone you can't look after yourself and spoke down to them and everything, it, it's almost programmed into you. Right, I'll just go and find another woman that's going to talk to me like shit and tell me I can't do anything and tell me I'm not good enough. You know what I mean? It's like consciously, you're like, why the fuck would you do that? But that actually makes sense, right? But and that's what it kind of feels like. You know, it's like addicted to being around people that make you feel like crap, or addicted to drama. Whereas somebody that really loves you and that is quite peaceful and is going to help you heal is just a bit alien to some people. And you know, you have that's actually kind of brave to move towards that and to allow yourself to be loved. So if you're even the slightest bit open to doing that, we're all rooting for you, the people out there that are doing it or going to do it, or even if you're at the start of it. And again, anyone that's brave enough to tackle an addiction, that's not easy either. And like I said, I could feel it. There was a lot of people going through that, battling my addictions. Oh, and so sorry. Okay, how many fucking films did I watch? But it was because I was watching more films than normal because I wasn't allowed to eat. I had to really distract myself. I watched this weird. That was weird as fuck as well. The film last night was called Chosen Family with Heather Graham, and it's quite a load of shit as well. But I got the point of it. It was basically she's got a narcissistic family, um, and it's like, you know, all the family members were just constantly making about them, and she was trying to do something different, and like she was trying to be like a yoga thing and do something online or something. So it's like, and then it's quite funny. She accidentally posts a video like complaining about them, and then it goes viral because everyone could relate, kind of thing. So again, this actually could be quite specific to some people that if you do well something like this, like YouTube or but more like vlogging or something, or it's but it was more just the fact the whole point. I was like, why the fuck not? This is boring. Actually, there was quite interesting bits. It's like, yeah, there was a lot of interesting things in that because it was like there's a bit where she's dating a guy and it's like the wee girl is being horrible to her. I mean, it's meant to be a comedy, but the wee girl keeps like repeating stuff that the ex is saying. So it's like there could be something like that going on as well, where like some because he's like, look, if she wasn't my daughter, what I really want to say to her is your mum's a narcissistic bitch or something like that. So it's kind of like, but it's they make it funny, but it's like it's really not funny because that'll happen in real life. That the wee girl is being really horrible to the new partner because the mum is like repeating stuff that you shouldn't say to a kid. So I don't want that to be true for him, but that was the kind of vibe I was getting from the film. And then in the end, she has to like split up with the guy because he's not putting any boundaries in with the kid, um, which will be a common thing as well. Um, but it was more at the end. It's more about the main character. So although she's a she, this could be about a he as well. That she kept people pleasing her family even though the sisters may have a drug problem, the mum is just a bit eccentric and mum's a bit eccentric, making about herself. And the dad is like really, really religious and like every 2 minutes, like saying you're going to hell if you don't like talking about God and stuff in that way. Um, and then she turns around and is like, no, like you're not controlling my life anymore. And that's what I liked about it. I thought, all right, that must be it. So I just I cried over you. So we've had the tears card and I've cried over it. Yeah, this energy is very, again, remember, it sounds like one person, but it's going to be a whole group of people that resonate. It's like they're very upset about the current circumstances. I don't want this to be over with us. So if they did choose somebody else over you, if you're the feminine at some point, it feels like the karma is that they're miserable. And they're still healing from the Jezebel. I'm still healing wounds from a past relationship. And you see, so that's even that, like what I'm saying about in that film, that guy is going through a divorce. And we don't ever see who the ex partner is, but we get the picture that she's like a nightmare. So it could be something like that, that someone's like, you know, got an ex that's like, you know, making things 10 times harder. Right, I missed out the bit with the soul retrieval bit. Oh, let's use my new cards. So this is the bit, if you've never seen this before, if you were to come to me for a session, this might be something that you need or it might not. It's not going to be everyone's. There'll be someone's out there. Oh, by the way, and for sessions this week, I'd normally be available tomorrow, but because my neighbour asked me to look after the dog tomorrow, I've got her tomorrow instead of Wednesday. So technically, I can be available tomorrow after, like, I don't know. She usually goes about 6, something like 6:30. I'd probably, yeah, so I could be probably available about 6:30 or 7. But to be honest, I think I'll probably just have tomorrow off. But but all I'm saying is, if somebody did want tomorrow and it was they couldn't have any other day, then I would make it work, unless I was like totally knackered. But I don't think that's going to be the case. So yeah, so let's just say the days are. I actually more think there's somebody that wanted a session this week, and she might actually want tomorrow, but who knows? Yeah, I'm around Wednesday. I think it's just Wednesday and Thursday actually. Yeah, that's how quick the week goes. Yeah, so Wednesday and Thursday this week. But then next week I haven't looked. It'll be like normal Tuesday through to Friday. But yes, so, and it's just because, like I said, my friend had arranged in advance to come and see me. So, the secret chamber, potency, deep connection, treasure. Trust your visions, intuition, plant seeds. So, I think you're already going through some kind of quite profound, very private, sacred spiritual journey of yourself. Like, it kind of feels like a vision quest, or just like very contemplative, meditative state. So, like I said, it's very earlier. You know what over the weekend was Pisces and Scorpio moon is very still, silent energy. I think you could be having like quite strong visions, and maybe like in a session we'd just be able to kind of unpack a bit more about what that means. And cause I'm very good at decoding dreams, but I'll always get you to tell me what it means, and then I'll tell you what it could mean as well, and it's quite fun. Right, another one. Wisdom Keeper, a new perspective, study and learning. So I feel you're quite an old soul, and you could be waking up to that. Again, I say this all the time, but it's because it's true. We're attracting a lot of old souls to the channel, because that's what I am myself, and it's what a lot of yous are as well. And it's just what's happening on the planet right now. A lot of ancient souls are awakening. Like, so you might can't get you out of my head. Kylie Minogue's just come on, and this is relevant to this. This person can't get you out of their head. So I feel that's all. The person can't get you your head, but at the same time, they're having really quite deep experiences for their own life and visions. Oh, look, boundary stones. So I don't think it's going to have anything to do with boundaries, but I'm taking, yeah, like I'll just read the bottom words. Negotiations, contracts, communication. But look, notice how I was just saying about in that film, the guy had just got a divorce, he was going through a divorce. So there could be things about contracts, like things getting finalised, or be careful if you're signing contracts, because Mercury retrograde in Pisces, you can make a mistake. Slow down, make sure you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's. I always have to slow down and make sure I say that right. Negotiations and communication. Yeah, communicate clearly, because it's very, very easy to be misunderstood in a Mercury and Pisces alone, but definitely Mercury retrograde. And it's quite funny the other day, Lexi was like, yeah, we're out of Mercury retrograde. And I was like, Lexi, I don't know what you've been Googling, hen, but we're not out of that until the 19th. But we're not really out of it until another couple of, so let's see. So like, um, don't quote me on this, but I'd say we're probably not really out of the shadow of that until around the 10th. That might not be exact, but you know, it's usually a few weeks after. And then if you're wanting to get your marriages and proposals in that week in between, you've got that week in between before the 21st. In fact, that's a bit risky too, because that's the pre-shadow. That's you know what I mean. Then it's the build. Basically, we're going straight from a Mercury retrograde. Fuck that! Why did I keep booking? Ugh. I'm gonna go and eat some. Into a Venus retrograde. So highway to the danger zone. It's just oh dear. Right, okay. What's gonna happen next? And the people that resonate with this. Oh, they told us already. You've got a secret admirer, someone that's suppressing and timid, but they are loyal. This is the ones that came out from the other day, but come through again. Somebody's loyal, they're watching you from afar, and they could even be protecting you. And I'd say piecing together with the films I've watched, they're protecting you from somebody abandoned. Now that could be you that's feeling abandoned, or they could feel like you abandoned them. Yeah, it's like the film. All the films merged together. Friendship. Okay, so we had best friend on the masculine side, and now we've got friendship. So what's coming through really strongly is everyone that resonates with this is very, very important for this person to regain your trust and your friendship. So, I mean, yeah, for a Scorpio reading, there's not been a massive amount of like desire and shit coming through, has there? But it doesn't mean it isn't there, but it's more coming across as perhaps, well, I mean, I did pull addiction, you know, that would make sense if somebody had a sex addiction, that maybe it's like, you know, better for the healing to not have any sexual healing. I spoke too soon. Sorry, is that not hilarious with what I was saying? It's like, nope, I do want to do that. I am not. I'm not reading that. I'm sorry. Just really, I'm just not reading that. I'm just not, okay? Hopefully you can all read. If you've fallen asleep listening to this, well, too bad. But yes. So, as I was saying, it's very important for this person to get the friendship and your trust, but they do want to do that when you're up for it. So, but it's got a lovely pitch on the back. Nurture the bonds of friendship within your relationship, and your love life will dramatically improve. Well, that's what I say all the time anyway. That's when you're going to have the best of that. When you trust each other and you're having fun, and you know, one thing leads to another. I'm terrified that you're moving on from me. Yes, we got the gist of that throughout the whole of this. This person is terrified that you're moving on from them. So if you feel them upset, because there's a lot of cards indicating that this person's really upset, so they could still be in a dark night of soul. You know, send them love and prayers and let them know that you're open to hearing from them. My mum's just real cool. Okay, Rona, cool. Do you know why she's done that? Because over the weekend, what was it? I said something to her, and then I think I just said something like, "Don't call me or anything because I need to sleep." And then she didn't reply to me, and I said, "Why didn't you ever reply anymore?" See what I mean? I was really sensitive, and she was like, "Well, I thought it was quite straightforward with what you said. I didn't think I needed to like." So that's why she's probably thought the same thing and thought I better write something. Sorry. Oh dear. Oh, that's quite funny. That'll be why she's done that. But I was like, Rona, you can, I don't call her Rona. I'm just saying that for laugh. I was like, you could at least heart it or something. Do you know what I mean? I'm a bit sensitive to being absolutely fucking pied. We'll not go there, but yes, it's nice to acknowledge stuff. Right. So, what have we got for the new air frequency? So, if you're hanging around and you want something else to watch, don't know how long it'll be live for, but I'll be live again in about 20 minutes. I'm just going to go and eat something. I just need to go and remind myself. I think I'll have an avocado or something, or nuts or some boring shit like that. No, Greek yogurt. I'll have some olives and Greek yogurt, not together, but that's quite a good order to, you know, for your stomach. And the thing is, right, you're not really meant to have sushi. But the annoying thing is, I ordered it and it's today's date, and you can't really eat out of date sushi, can you? So I think I'll just need to take a risk and eat it like last, like before I go to bed, and hope for the best. I think it's because it's got a wee bit of like cream cheese in it, isn't it? So my stomach, I don't know, my stomach is sensitive. It's quite robust when I've done this. Because I really actually did think I might have been. I thought I might have had an issue with, I don't know, either white bread or cheese because I love it, and sometimes I eat a lot of it. If I'm eating cheese toasties all the time, obviously I'm eating loads of it. And but to be fair, the last time I done the 7 day fast, and then I introduced it all back, and like I didn't have any issues with it. And the thing is, the way to tell if you've got an intolerance to someone is obviously if you have that after cleaning out your system, and it's like bad news. And I didn't have that with any of it. I was quite surprised because I ate tons of white bread, and I do love white bread. I don't like sometimes I go through phases. Like when I used to eat bacon all the time, I'd always have like a bacon roll or something. But I ate loads of white bread when I had the flu, and so I don't know. But I'm going to be doing the same again, just sort of. But you can't just. It's quite confusing because like although I've done this a few times, right, I forget and I Google it, and it's quite a minefield if you're not used to this because it'll say different things for different. Oh, it'll just say all different things, but generally, like it's just you don't go in and eating a fucking big, chippy or a hamburger, or you know what I mean. But I think even if you did need to, I'm sure that Mindy woman was like, if you were going out at night on the same day breaking your fast, just make sure you have like, the broth. I think it's like it's not this order, like steamed vegetables, olives, Greek yogurt, something else, and then have some protein. But a lot of the other things would say that's not even good. So I'll find out. That's the thing. I'll find out. If I eat that sushi and it's like at least I'm off tomorrow anyway, but it wouldn't be very nice. But I waste the fucking money, so I'm eating that shit. Do you know what I'm saying? That shit's expensive, so didn't really think that through when I was ordering it. I was just starving. Breathing. So, ground, feel sensations, purity, clarity, expression. It feels like from this, I feel we've got somebody that is very emotional, has got the clarity on their past and what you mean to them. So they're either going through a deep, profound spiritual awakening, or they've gone through that, and it's about how do I come forward now for another chance because Roger Sanchez is on. Days go by, still I think of you. She's carrying a giant heart on the train, on the bus. That's funny timing, isn't it? Multi-dimensional, exactly. Wow. Boom, drop the mic. Love you, gods, love you, guides, and it's obviously time to end this now. What did I speak about? Timelines. Multi-dimensions, timelines, be you, don't even try to fit in. So I think what I'm gathered from all of this, with the fact that I watched that film over the weekend about timelines, and the fact that the jammy bottoms I grabbed are the Back to the Future ones that reminds me of timelines, and I posted photos from 9 years ago, like oracle cards from 9 years ago, that I've moved house fucking a few times since then. There's a lot about the past. Mercury retrograde. And it feels like if you're the feminine, you're not afraid to be different. And it feels like this masculine wasn't quite ready to be as bold. And that's okay. Not everybody is. But now it feels like the love that they've awakened to, it doesn't really matter. Like they're on board. By the time they get to this point, it's like it's too difficult to be away from you. and they just want peace and a resolution. Possibly more. We've got Crystal Child behind that. Your natural core, pure innocent, removing falsehood, seer. That's interesting because, where is it? Before I came on, one of these crow cards, thanks Connor, you gave me them. Oh look, there's protection again. Yeah, this is definitely something where someone, look, it's two. Oh my god, that's like the golden child. There is, I think that's going to be for a select few, but there is something about that because look, they're protecting an egg. So yeah, this person is protecting you from something, or there's something about protecting a child or children or something. Look, protection, but it was actually illusion that caught my eye. I need to find them. There we go, illusion. Somebody's woke up from an illusion of about a Jezebel. That's definitely what's happened here. Is there anything else you want me to? And then tomorrow I can look for the book for this because they are very Scorpio actually. These cards. What does that? See what I mean? What does that mean? Caching. Right, we need to go to Google. I don't know what that means. It's not very often I can't think. Like, do you mean because I'm not thinking? I'm just channeling the message, but I don't know what the hell that means. Caching is a process of storing data in a temporary high-speed storage layer. But what about when it's birds? It looks like it's putting its eggs. No. Is it its own eggs? Is it stealing eggs? Right, I don't know. We need the book. Caching. Maybe someone's like protecting their assets or something. Territory. Protecting their territory, distance. Yeah, I don't know. This is all giving me someone's like protecting you from a distance, loving you from a distance, protecting you from a distance. Got that kind of energy to it. But ultimately, when they do feel it's the right time to come forward, they want peace. So divine feminine, stay in the heart, all is well, be at peace. And old timelines are collapsing. Insights, higher self, self-embodiment. Also, the 10th and the 11th are significant, and the 10th is, wait a minute, that's tomorrow. So Tuesday and Wednesday of this week could be significant. Now, what's quite interesting is Jupiter goes direct either tomorrow or the next day. So Jupiter direct in Cancer. So you might want to look at where that is in your chart. Like, so for instance, it was, what was interesting me about that is it's in my ninth house, which can be about religion and higher learning and stuff like that. And although I talk about God and praying and that all the time anyway, and Pisces season is about prayer. Like I said, over that time of being ill, I do feel like I had, well, I don't just feel it, like I did have a huge activation. And it's just interesting. Again, I can't really explain it. It's just, um, yeah, I can't really explain it. So you need to know where it is in your chart. But instead of it being internal, it could be external, like so something could. And Jupiter is the planet of luck opportunities, and I don't believe in luck. Luck is preparation meeting opportunity. So yeah, you could have been working on stuff internally, and then yeah, I don't know, you might feel like your luck's changing or like things are aligning for you. Let's go time. Doesn't necessarily need to be like that because it's quite a slow energy, but I don't know. You'll know how it works for you. So, old time, look, timelines again. Did I already say that? Sorry if I already said it, but this is a different card. Old timelines collapsing, insights, higher self embodiment expression. That's actually what I was just trying to say. Like, I feel even more in my higher self than ever before. Like, and definitely with all the stuff I channeled about on that first live stream, the Kingdom Spouse stuff, I would call it a Kingdom Spouse activation. Although, like I said, it's like I've always felt on that journey, but it was next level shit. So it could be that's I'm feeling what the masculine's feeling, like what the feminine's felt all along or something, and it's make love and listen to the music has just come on, hilarious timing. So yeah, but ultimately someone wants peace and they want a resolution. So prayers for all those situations. I am going to go and eat something that's a wee bit more substantial, and then yeah, I'll be back in like 10 minutes or something. So see if I see you. I hope this. Well, I don't know. I hope like it is what it is if it resonated. But prayers for all the situations, and remember, it can be about your past to reflect on. It could be what's happening now, or it could be what's to come. Don't make it yours if it seems highly unlikely. Just get on with your life either way would be my input. And I will. Well, I'll see you in 10 minutes. Yeah. So, or I'll see you on Wednesday, probably about 8 o'clock UK time, so a bit later. Actually, that's what time it is now. I was only earlier today because I'm doing the two live streams. I wanted to start that one, and like this is what I mean. It might only be like a wee 20-minute live, and then famous last words will be on for 2 hours or something. I think it'll just be, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really want to be on ages, so if there's a few people on, I'll chat, and then that might make it longer. But anyway, see you in a bit, and I hope you're all doing well, especially those of you that might be going through a bit of a harder time for whatever reason.